He said, he said, he said,
Yo, Mazi Benny J. Sugar Man from the beach. No. Together we gon' make it.
I remember in Biafra when our people were murdered, and the killers with impunity. In our freedom we believe. Yeah. Many years have gone by quickly. Years of tears of sorrow and pain. And Biafra is united now. So we gonna fight this war. And so we say, together, we fight it. Together, we gonna make it. Together, Biafra. Together, we want the freedom. We want the freedom. We want the freedom. We want the freedom. Yo, this is 1967. Biafran, we are murdered, we're brutally slaughtered. We are still united, we couldn't be divided. But whatever it takes, Biafra is still standing. We only moving forward, we depend on unity. Biafra is involved in every positive activity. We uphold our freedom, Biafra is our nation. To the better days come peace and prosperity. But whatever this year's brings, no matter the weather, Biafra's gonna make it as long as we together. And we hope to stand up, we ever be together. And Chukwuka government's gonna make us stand together. And so we say, together, we fight it. Together, we are gonna make it. Together, Biafra. We want our freedom. Together, we want our freedom. Together, we gonna make it. We want our freedom. Together, we want our freedom. Whoa.
Yeah, one more time, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are resident in the world. And for some of you who are going to bed, right, it's good night for you. This is Radio Biafra USA 2. We have a lot to talk about this morning, and I will start this program with see if I can read out a press release by our leaders. IPOB from the press release. I read this yesterday, but I think I need to repeat them this morning because it's relevant. We don't just say it one time and then forget about it and move on. No, we have to see. So if it didn't sink into your brain yesterday, it's going to come in today. Irredeemable Nigeria is a British yoke to stop Biafra potential IPOB. So we're talking about it this morning is the fact that we have been craving for our freedom. They are doing everything to make sure that they keep their Nigeria with our people. The usage is, I'm hearing some kind of noise outside. The usage of this, what they are doing is trying to keep the country one, not because they really love the country, but because they know they have no country, and the Fulanis are trying everything in their power to conclude the job according to them, which they are Usman Danfodio, their ancient fathers, their primitive terrorist fathers and ancestors started, so they want to complete it. Whether you want to accept it as the truth or not, well, there are our brothers, fellow Biafrans, who think that they can salvage Nigeria. Good luck to them. We're still wishing them the best of luck. But what I'm saying is that within 2 days, the next 2 years, the die is going to be cast, because that's what they started too early, because Nnamdi Kanu came up and the IPOB came up, and everybody got confused. So they're rushing it, but they have not given up yet. Because if they can, in your eyes, Kurukuru eye, overnight, rig an election, that I personally, when people were saying, I said, listen, they cannot relent on their whatever they are doing. But what I know Because when I saw the campaign, the election, not even the movement, because that wasn't like a political party that P2B was running. No, it was a movement that came out of nowhere, surprised everybody, and there was too much crowd, and everybody's like beginning to have doubts. Even, excuse me, just give me 1 minute. Yes, one more time I'm back. I'm so sorry. There was so much noise outside, so I had to lock up the windows in the studio so you're able to sustain the noise. So what I was trying to say before I got distracted is that when the movement started, everybody, I personally too also, said, well, we gave a low job because the movement came as a surprise for some people. But in the end, what happened? I believed that they were not going to be able to rig it. They might be scared, but they are not scared. These people are resolute. They are not scared. They don't care. They do it, let the heavens fall. Whatever you are doing, they are doing what they are doing. And because they know, it took them many years since Usman Danfodio came here and left, and the British people said to them, listen, why are you trying to kill these people? What you're looking for is what we are looking for. Let us take care of them, then we'll hand them over to you. That's exactly what's going on. I'm telling you, they relaxed and they allowed them. The killing, the British are the ones that is organizing all this killing that we know. Whether you want to accept it, you don't want. In fact, I have a nephew of mine who lives in London, and he was trying to convince me. He said, British people are not that bad people. It's just that they are protecting their interests. Yeah, my son, relax. You get to where I am. When you get to where I am, you really start to think properly. Because you can't. Before you realize it, it is late. I know that from 6 years, 5 years, when I became aware, I wouldn't even tell you when. I used to have them discuss these issues, my father with friends, and they're all civil servants and all Ruibo, and they'll sit down there and they speak their grammar. And as a little man, I've been hearing about Nnamdi Azikiwe, I've been hearing about Okotiebo. I have all those stories. Today, we are still hearing the same thing in different shape. Then it wasn't Nnamdi Azikiwe, now it is P2B. They are going to nowhere. People are confused. I was in a meeting yesterday and somebody said, I said, I don't know. Why are you asking me? I am here trying to create awareness the much I know, the way I am, what I always believe in. But it's hard for you to get to anybody because they already have a mindset. Today they say one thing, tomorrow they just two moves, and everyone will say, wow, and that is the end of it. I read an article yesterday written by one of my friends. I don't want to call his name. He was talking about what he saw or what he felt and what happened when they swore in their president. He said the first statement that the man made was fuel subsidy. And all of a sudden he realized that in Lagos, he stays in Lagos, that he remembered Biafra when he was a little boy, when he was a child, when they carry their load on their head and they're moving with their leg because there are no transportations anywhere. That is what they are going back to. It will going to be worse. I'm telling you honestly. You will see what you have never seen before, and it's going to happen. It is there already happening. It's a matter of time. They can create all over they want. Everything is temporal. Just Fulani in your own 2 years, and they will declare it Federal Islamic Sultanate of Nigeria. That's where you're going. Repeat, its name is going to be Federal Sultanic Islamic Sultanate of Nigeria. Not Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mbano. That one is history now. Because the real Boko Haram is the one that is coming in. The real one. Forget about the man who they call Bola Tinubu, who is almost senile. He's not even remembering anything. Strange enough, there are people who go out on the radio and public press and want to support this man. They are so, I don't know. And my friend yesterday asked me in a meeting, he said that all we do is we talk. I say, yeah, that is the truth. You are very correct. All we do, we talk. Your parents never stop talking to you from the time you were born. They keep talking and talking and talking and hoping that if they say 1,000 things, maybe half of one will get into your brain and will stick there. And that's his truth. We talk. He said, because the people that are supposed to talk are not talking. And yeah, I said, why would they talk? They are eating. All they think about is their families. All they think about is what their family afford them. For them, you can go to hell. All they need to do is starve you, and when it is time to vote, they give you money, you go and put them back in office, and that's it. Life continues. I saw somebody yesterday, he showed a lawmaker who resorted to electronic bicycle because of the fuel scarcity. And people are hailing him. They're interviewing him. Oh, he loves his people. Electronic bicycle. Only person will never chop, they buy electronic bicycle. It's not expensive, yes. But in the midst of where you are, it is expensive. Quite a lot of money. So you just demonstrate your stupidity, and people are even having the problem to. In fact, there was somebody who made a comment, and I think I love what she said. He said, very soon I'm going to buy a camel for my transportation. Though you come and interview me also. It's very interesting. I say, yeah, he bought electronic bicycle is a big deal. For Nigerian people, that is exactly what it is. Now, wow. Because think about it. A country that has a president that never saw for one day in the street coming to speak to them except on television. Because the man died in 2017. Up till today that we are talking, there are people who still believe that the man that just went away from that office is Muhammad Buhari. In Nigeria. Sometimes I look at it, I said, this is like a cross. Because when you carry this cross, if you don't bring it down on Anyagi, we are going to see Nketarapiati. This is the beginning. Where is the power? The power lies on the people. Your reaction. Those people that are politicians that are representing you, you can make life uncomfortable for these people and they will run away from your homes. You can make life uncomfortable for them, they will run from your land because they are not representing you in any shape or form. That their pomposity and hypocrisy, it's what they dwell on. But you are there just saying, now, wow, you go out from morning till now, come back with empty hand, you can't eat. You can't feed your family. There's no electricity. There's no water. There's nothing. And you are there living with these people in the same vicinity, in the same environment. You are attacking people that don't even do you anything. The so-called armed robbers, they go to rob people who are as hungry as you. Because you are afraid that you cannot penetrate into the homes of those politicians. You can. All determination, just if you want to do it, you do it. If you don't want to do it, stay there and be fooling yourself. Robbing people that are just as hungry as you. Kidnapping children that their parents are poorer than you. Are you all right? It's your The same people are coming out and making some noise. They come into the street. They talk. If you can't get to them, let me put it this way. The man that is preparing his food in his kitchen, on a go in a month, or teacher loyal. Just get rid of these people and let your life continue. Let your life be life. And they go to and say, hey, we are preaching hate. What do you mean by hate? What is hate? The reality of it is that you are dealing with people who have no conscience, people who don't really give a care. They do whatever they want to do because you know something? They know that after 8 years, maybe then you remain so you just become a skeleton. You're ready to go out there and kill yourself and make some noise, and that is the end of it. Because people are so selfish. These people are selfish overboard selfishness. They don't care about anybody. And you think they're going to change? No. No, they can't change. They will not change. People don't just make changes. Changes come by force. Water that is flowing, it keeps flowing and flowing and flowing until there's something that tries to block its way. Then there'll be a breach. This is what you need to do. The man in Enugu that he just elected said he has banned sitting at home in Enugu State. Well, that's okay because IPOB had already banned sitting at home long time ago. But because people feel that they need to do something, that's why they enforcing themselves to stay at home. It was banned. The Monday sit at home had been stopped long time ago. But I don't even think it lasted 2 Mondays before IPOB started putting up kind of information that this thing had to stop. And our people refused to stop. So him coming out to say he's banning sit at home, that's okay. It's been banned already. So if you can enforce it, good. It's a good step to start. Use your police, enforce it. But I don't know how you can enforce somebody to go to work. Yeah, they tire me because sit at home is so it's such a thing that I don't really know how somebody can handle it. If you say you are doing a protest or something like that, if you say you're protesting in the street, you can send out the police to stop people. But when you say you're banning sit at home, and I don't know how you go do that one. You send police to people's home and tell them to come out of the street and go to their work. Anyway, maybe those who are working for you, you can stop them like government offices. You can say if you don't come to work, you'll be fired. Okay, I understand that. But when you say there's no more sit at home, now well, just vaguely like that, you say there's no more sit at home. Who will, people are really eventually going to sit at home. All right, I was trying to read up this a press release by IPOB media team. So let me read it and before we continue. The indigenous people of Biafra, under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, wish to remind our people once again that Nigeria is irredeemable and was structured to spite Ndibo. The earlier all of us realized that Nigeria was not designed to benefit Ndibo, the better for us. Therefore, it's better for Ndibo to rally behind Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB to fight for the right to self-determination through a United Nations supervised Biafra referendum as the only viable option to achieve our collective potential. We've been talking about this. Whether they like it or not, they have to give that referendum one day or the other. Things are getting worse, they're not getting better. So eventually people will revolt, there's no doubt. It is imperative for Ndibo to jettison Nigeria for those it was meant to benefit. Ndibo should use their tongue to count their teeth. They should ask themselves what benefits they have realized from Nigeria since 1914 amalgamation until now, and see if there's any reason to belong to Nigeria. Let me divert from this. A long time ago, one day I was thinking, thinking of considering my age and how long I have been in this country, United States of America. And I asked myself, what have I really? The only thing I think I benefited from Nigeria, actually, because ask yourself that question: what have I really gotten from Nigeria? Maybe the air that I breathed when I met my in Calabar when I was born. Maybe that's the only thing, because I don't see any other thing. If there is anything that you inherited, please let me know, because I can't see. America kind of gave me a life. I went to school here. This is where I actually belong. This is where I felt I'm a human being. Back there, maybe I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you that this is what I benefited, to be honest with you. I don't know what it is. Today that everybody's clamoring. Good thing that those of us who came here early, we came here at a time we felt that there was no hope back home. And don't forget, at that time, a lot of people were jumping that things were so good for them, their families and their children. They could take care of their homes and the rest of them. But I saw all those things as balloonistic. Do I use that language? I don't know if it's correct. A balloon, when you blow it up, it becomes so fat. All you need to do is just a little tiny needle, boom, and it explodes, and you don't see anything. Everything is scattered everywhere. That's the way I looked at Nigeria before I came to this country. Because when you came out of war and had no money, and all of a sudden you're playing music, and eventually people who are hungry are throwing in money at you. Record companies will sign you on, and then they make you big. You look very big. But then my mind always says to me, vanity upon vanity, where is this one going to end you? How long will you be able to be sustained with this? I remember when I was 1970, was it 73? Yes. I bought a brand new car, and out of money that a record company gave me, not that it was money that I made. So a friend of mine looked at me. He was at the university at that time, my classmate. He looked at me and said, "You bought a car?" I said, "Yeah, don't you see my car?" I was trying to brandish the car to show him. He said, "What? So what do you do after the car is broke down?" He was. I looked at it like if he was jealous. But when I went home, I started thinking about what he said. Yes, I'm telling you, I just said to myself, I have to take more education, because this thing doesn't look real. All of a sudden, you are now a superstar. You're living in a big house. Well, it's not your house anyway. You rent a place, you fix it. You bought a car, park it outside your car. All the yuppies and the things are running. They are running around your house, and you don't even know which one to choose from. But when will it end? I remember my mother paying me a visit one time, and she said to me, the normal way that mothers do. Okay, say, what do you mean by that? Say, I just laughed. That's so loud. I laughed so loud. My mother said, "Why? Is it funny?" I said, "Mama, you know why? How can you know why when you are not even standing on your foot? You are not even, your two legs are not angry. Don't go there." The idea is that what she told me finally, she said, "Kita ke afu wanyi ya." Kita ki nwere ike ịfụ onye ya, maka otu a si efu be gị now. The way you are, you can pick up anything and you say actually energy. But it matter now, but what to want to not get to not want. That's our English language. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is that everything about Nigeria is fake. It's not real. Very soon you will all know. What I saw, I could now when they Chineke goes in for the future. When you say it, people think you're joking. You get away from there. There are many people that I know today in the zoo that were shining in those days. Today, they don't even know where to go and what to do with themselves. An Apache. An Apache on a leak. There's nothing you can do about it. You people have to stand up and say enough is enough. No matter how much you try. They can see the whole world. You go through the desert, you cross the river Niger, you swim, you jump, just because you want to get away from your own country, which is If it's good, why would you want to get away from there? And I don't want to be emotionally attached to that country. We are trying to save you guys. Think of how many people that wants to go to overseas many, many years ago. Okay, I don't want to be. We're not coming to stay here. We're coming to go to school and then come back. And eventually, you discover that the money that was 60 kobo per dollar when we came in. I don't here now watch it go 1 to 1. I say, hey, it goes 1 to 1. Hey, 1 to 10, 1 to 20, we lost count. We stopped counting. Today, I don't even know how much it is or what's the exchange rate. But it doesn't matter. That exchange rate is just artificial. The truth is that why it's a problem is that the people there can't afford it. When you can go out there to buy have a motor, a million. The first car I bought was about less than 3,000 naira. To go to London was $300. Return flight, return ticket. Go ask anybody. And the Fulanis have planned to ruin everybody. Not even if they were good, if they know what they are doing, why would anybody go against them? They have nothing. These were empty blockheads. And they may people who are supposed to see, they don't see anything. And what do they really do? What is the thing? There used to be something they call People's Club. I don't know if it's still in existence. But I remember that in my high school, there were students that had scholarship, People's Club scholarship to go to school. Oh, yes. And then they're not there when people who are very philanthropic, they help people. Those things don't exist anymore. And the barrier for people of the Ohanese Igbo. Oh, we welcome you, Mr. President. We bow down for you, Mr. President. That is all. Somebody sent me a video of MS Sanusi in Aba going to Uti, being launched as being inaugurated as the next governor of Abia State. They went and I looked at him. They are falling on the ground and bowing to a king. Igbo, we Igbo people, we bowing to king. What is wrong with shaking hands? What is wrong with shake? Look at when Queen Elizabeth came to Nigeria. Let me give you a very good example. When she went to the north, you see the way they were falling down. When it came to the east, if you want to shake, you shake it. No one shake that one concern you. But today is different. All they do is there are people I saw singing Buhari Gachi Oga. These are supposed people with red cap. Red cap. It's so hard for me to put it on my head, to be honest with you. I have it. I'm not going to go out with this because the people that wear are idiots, foolish people. They're not thinking. They must not be mad. You will look at because actually sometimes looks like it's somebody. So let me keep on reading this. Influential Igbo sons and daughters, both home and abroad, should never think that Nigeria is for them. Very good message. They should take a cue from the public disdain and ridicule the owners of Nigeria subjected P2B to. Of course, we knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know how it was going to happen. Though many good Nigerians believe in Peter Obi, and they overwhelmingly voted for him to become their next president, but the owners of Nigeria decided otherwise. To them, it's better that Nigeria go to abyss than to let an Igbo man be their president. What happened to Obi will happen to Okeke and Okafor as long as we remain in this contraption called Nigeria. This is a message, serious message that cannot be pushed aside. Nigeria has since its conception during the 1967 to 70 genocidal war until today shown that Ndi Igbo has not been allowed to be equal partners in their country. Let every Okeke and Okafor and Okonkwo come together and fight for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the restoration of Biafra nation. In Nigeria, all of us will finally have a homeland again and a nation of our own. This is a very strong message that we're giving out this morning. And wherever you are, I want you to please pay attention. Think. This requires your brain, your meditation. Sit down and think about it. Though we are making a clarion call for all Biafrans, particularly Ndi Igbo, to support the struggle to break away from the oppressive, ethnic, hate-filled country called Nigeria. IPOB has already drawn the battle line, and nothing will stop this Biafra restoration. Therefore, we are calling on all Ndi Igbo politicians, businessmen, and businesswomen, and those who still think that Nigeria is for them to have a rethink. Think back. Your fathers tried to put Nigeria together, it never worked. Today, another of your sons have come out and you've seen what has happened to him. You can openly or covertly support the agitation of Biafra sovereignty. That is our only hope. Those piloting Nigeria affairs have shown that Ndi Igbo are not wanted. Those clamoring for Igbo presidency 2023 have been disgraced. We see it. Not even Senate president, not House Speaker position was given to Ndi Igbo. Joseph Okalo, I know you're listening to this. What disdainful politicking to Ndi Igbo, who contributes to the human and economic development of Nigeria, if the Jews didn't wake up from their slumber and fought for the independent state of Israel in 1948 after they were profiled and slaughtered in Europe. How could they have become a superpower today? Ndi Igbo has been profiled and slaughtered before the 60s, during the 67-70 war, and until now, the profiling, abduction, and massacre of Ndi Igbo still goes on till today. Ndi Igbo, what are we waiting for? It's a clarion call for all of you to wake up. Biafrans and Ndi Igbo in particular, please shine your eyes. We are no longer accepted or wanted in Nigeria. Let us fight for our destiny and posterity. We have the opportunity now. IPOB was formed with clean hearts and clear objective of Biafra independence. Let everyone join hands together so that we can free ourselves and become a great nation that Chukwu Okike Abiyama destined for us. Biafra has the potential to become a superpower. But Nigeria is a British yoke of burden to prevent us from reaching our God's given potential. IPOB has broken that yoke. This is signed by Comrade Ima Powerful, Media and Publicity Secretary for IPOB. Asị onye nwere ntị ya megana ya nụrụ. Ụkpana ogboko gburu gịnị na-eme ya ntị ọ maka na ntị ya dọrọ mma ntị chirie ọ da-anụ ife. We are calling upon you Biafrans, our brothers. First, start with getting back home. Think of going back home because that is where it starts. If you go back to your land, where you come from, to your Biafra is our home. That's where we're born and that's where we know that we belong to. If you go there, go home. Start with going home. When you go home, think about what we have said today. First of all, our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that they have locked up, we need your prayer. We'll be tied those that did that job because we'll eventually get more information about those who planned it. It wasn't an accident. Somebody said, I heard somebody being interviewed and say, hey, why did he go to Kenya? Well, he had the right to go to anywhere he wanted to go. But what we are saying is that if it was a plan by anybody to have made him go there and get in trouble, we will know that person. Because the evil that men do will always stay at them. There is nothing they can do about it. They cannot run away about it. We have an intel, and when our intel investigates and gives us a report, we have it in our book, and we wait for that person. When time is right, we will take care of it. This is Radio Biafra USA 2. I have 8 o'clock and my time here in the studio. So if you want to make a call, you can go ahead, please. The number here is 646-920-4541. 845-344-7984-929-406 and 9953. So like I said, we are still I will be taking these calls, and while I'm taking the calls, it does not mean that you cannot make your calls. You can make your calls while we're still talking. When the call comes in, maybe we can hold on for you to say what you need to say. All right, this is Radio Biafra USA 2. Call us.
Why? Are we on the radio station with more? You're listening to the radio station. You're listening to this is Radio Biafra.
All right, like I said before, have more to talk about this morning. We are not going to end it with the admonition that we have just given you, but thinking of waking up from your slumber and accepting the fact that Nigeria does not want you, and they never give you a chance. You are not part of them. I don't know. As no I bet it's like your God don't sack you and doesn't have regards for you, and you are the slave, and you are there begging, trying to appease him, to make him change his mind. He's not going to change his mind. Because this is not a joke. This is what they are doing. It's not something that was planned overnight. It started with Babangida, and we said it before. Bosu told us that. We didn't want to listen to him. Reverend Bosu told us their plan is total and complete Islamization of this nation. Not only Bosu. In fact, there's this general that even said the same thing. And this is somebody who has worked with the government. This is somebody who has been in government for a while. He's telling you that this is the plan, that they have planned it, and nobody wants to take him seriously. Nobody. Because you are made to die in the hands of these people. And when they kill you, that's when the people will wake up. But when they keep taking it, it got to a point where everybody will be walking, everybody will be trekking to walk. When the cars will not be able to move the street. I think they said that Dangote has opened a refinery. We shall see. You're just wasting your time, guys. The reality is that we are not wanted in Nigeria, and we should know that we are not wanted. There's no doubt we are not wanted. Anybody who thinks that we are wanted or we are making up with the members of the indigenous people of Biafra, well, we are not making anything up. What we are saying is that the reality is that we have to face the truth. We know that we are not wanted. We are not wanted, and there is nothing we can do except warn our people to be resolute and to make sure that it is time they start thinking like normal people. It's Ndi Igbo, and particularly Ndi Igbo, I'm talking about Biafrans. Igbo happen to be the most dominant language in Biafra, but that doesn't mean that Igbo is Biafra. No, Igbo is just a language that some people in Biafra are called Igbos, and they are more in number than the other members. The Ijaw people, the Shekiri, Doma, they are all Biafrans out there.
Anyị nwe ego otu ezinụlọ bụrụ nnukwu ibu ma ụwa niile gburugburu bụ IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra, nke Mazi Nnamdi Kanu dị nso bụ onye isi ya, ji ohere a na-arịọ ụmụ Igbo tinyere ụmụ Biafra niile bi na mpaghara Lagos, Ugwu Awụsa, Abuja ka ha jisike buru akụ na ụba ha lewe anya ụzọ ụlọ, maka na tọnda ahụ na-agba n'ọkọchị na udu mmiri ọ ga-adị aṅaa? Ọ na-abụ ọsọ chụwa mmadụ na ụmụnna ya, ya agbalaga ụmụnne ya, ọ chụwakwana ya na mba, ya agbalata ebe ya. Igbo, ụmụ Biafra, echiche echere gbuo mmadụ abụkwaghị echiche otu ụbọchị, ọ bụkwa na onye dị ndụ na-asị thank you Jesus. So ka ọ dị gị n'uche na o meghị n'izu ya eme n'ọnwa. Unu biko buru isi unu, ahịa unu, lọtawa ala Biafra. Ala anyị sara mbara, nwee ihe niile zuru oke eji abụ oke mba. Ọ bụrụ na nyewoghị ala, ọchịnna ma ha agaghị achọnwa ala maka arụgebe niile. Nwanne, ịhụbeghị ebe onye International Market, Calabar Free Trade Zone, Akwa Ibom Showpiece, Enugu New Design Market, Igwe Ọcha, Anambra, Aba New Master Plan, Eko Ụtụtụ Market, aga m akpọkọ n'ole ghara ibe ya. Unu awụrịla onwe unu maka na ife ụzọ bịa mara ụzọ. Were n'ohere a, unu che n'ụwa agwụla, mara ihe Chukwu Okike jiri chọọ anyị mma. Mgbe ahụ ka anya gị ga-emepe dịka Blind Bartimaeus. Ị na-edighị iwuchi swamp n'ala Biafra tutu gị ọrụ ihe ọbụla, maka na ihe anyị bụ a na-agwọ ọ na-ere. Unu chọgodo iri ihe ọbụla n'akụkụ mmiri ọbụla dị n'ala Biafra, Imo River, Azụmni Blue River, Uguta Lake, Ibeno Beach, Urumba Waterfalls, Ogbunike Caves, Ebonyi Salt River na ebe ndị ọzọ. Unu enweghị nsogbu, lọta n'ụlọ, maka na kụrụ ụlọ amara onye kpara ya. Investment unu ga-abụ thy kingdom come. Ala Biafra brother will be done. Iji gwa gị n'ọzụwala, ahịa Nnamdi na Lọkpanta ga-abụzi ebe a ga-arụ Ultra Modern 21st Century Complex. Ugbu a anyị gwara onye sịkwanụ na anyị agaghị abịa maọbụ na anyị agaghị alọta. Ebe Anambra ga-abụ ebe a ga-ewu ahịa bụ ọkaibe na mba Afrịka maka akụrụngwa ihe ọgba dị iche iche na ihe ndị ọzọ, nke a na-akpọ Auto Spare Parts Market. Ụkwa amịala na onye ateta nụnụ, ọ bụ m si eze mụọ m, ụkwa amịala onye ateta nye ụmụnne anyị ha ndị nọ na mba ofesi. Biko akụkwala flawa n'ala ndị ọzọ. Nke anyị bụ nke anyị, nke ha bụ nke ha. Naanị na Biafra land ka obi ga-abụ a man, ada bụrụ a woman. In fact, ọtụtụ ndị ebidola ihe na-egbughị oge. Bịa soro ụmụnna gị mara nzu, gị ajịkwanasị nothing mega. Otu a aha abụ Eko Chinala ka zoo ka ị ga-esi laa ka tọrọ, naanị mee ngwa ngwa lahe mpekata. Cheta na onye ji igu ka ewu na-eso. Werenu Nnewi dịka ihe ọmụmaatụ na ihe nlereanya. Ụmụ Igbo, ụmụ Biafra, ka anyị laa n'ebe anyị. Onye asị ya ga-emezi ebe ya abụkwanaghị ihe ọjọọ. Ala Biafra maka kwanụnụ, ọ bụ anyị si eze mụọ anyị. Leenụ Enugu, Anambra, Delta, Ebonyi, Imo, Abia, Igwe Ọcha, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, Cross River. Heo Chineke lee, ọ ga-agụ mma mba eze. Ọ bụkwa na ọ ga-agụ mma mba eze kama ga-abụ mma eze. Ọ bụ ndị Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, wetara unu ozi ya. Ala Biafra amaka.
Yeah, now that said, there's a news here about traders blocked from moving their goods when federal government demolishes largest electrical appliances market in Abuja. Oh yeah, this is exactly what we're telling you guys. Move your goods, start moving your stuff back to Biafra land. Wherever you are not safe. Wherever you are not going to be there in a couple of weeks or months or years. Take your stuff, relocate. Even if you don't want to be in Biafra land, go to neighboring countries and establish yourself. I am telling Biafrans and Ndibo in particular, because this is a planned thing. They are going to destroy your business. They're going to make sure that they destroy you. They already started it. They will demolish your market because Yusuf, you remember the Alaji and Kunle's conversation. When we say things on Radio Biafra, we are not saying it because we want to hate anybody or hate anybody. We are speaking the truth the way it's supposed to be said. The whole question is, if you want to pay attention to us or listen to us, fine. The likes of Joey Bukwe, I'm not hearing from him anymore. What happened to him? Because these people are just puppets that are going to be slaughtered and maimed later. They are just like the last sacrificial lamb. When they are done, when they are settled, when the Fulanis are balanced, which is in a couple of weeks or months, they're going to see what will happen. They're going to make sure that they get rid of all of you. All of these so-called governors and so-called senators, they're going to kill all of you. Fulani doesn't forgive anybody. And they have told you that any Fulani man you touch is debt that you're going to pay. Whether you like it, you want to believe us, or you don't want to believe us, it does not matter. It doesn't change the truth. The fact that you don't believe something does not make it a lie. It remains the truth perpetually. There's nothing you can do. If they can tell you your president died in 2017, and Buhari said, Buhari doesn't say anything. Which president in the world has his wife living in Dubai when he's living in Azurok, in his palace? Which president will tell you that at the end of his tenure of 8 years, he's going to go to Niger and live in Niger because Nigerians will worry him? In 8 years, he doesn't feel safe in this country because the man is not Buhari. It's just a stage. This is just Nollywood in the sense. You know, acting when you are not, acting what you are not. It is, the truth will come out. The only thing I know that a lot of people know the truth now. It's just that they are so ashamed to think that they are being fooled. You be Mugu now. Forget about the day you admit that you're a Mugu, that's the day you stop being a Mugu. What's no nyara? You know, when you're curing a mad person, in those days, there's no salt in my food. It doesn't taste good. Then it means he's not mad anymore. Yes. So take it. You have been a fool, but for once, just tell yourself, you know something? I have been fooled. There is no Buhari. You know that. Now that he has gone, very soon we'll not remember him anymore. And when people worry too much, one day they're going to stage his funeral. The funeral of somebody who had died in 2017. They're going to restage it. Courtesy of the British government. Courtesy of the British people. I'm telling you. They do it and our people are falling for it. Nobody wants to read the truth. Kunle and Alhaji told Kunle that by the time we are done with these Igbo people, all those things that they are doing, you are going to bring it and do it for us. Is it to go to Dubai and buy spare parts motor parts and drug? The man was just talking. And people will think it's comedy. It is not comedy. It is a show that something that Babangida did. He planned it. He gave them money, your own money, to turn Nigeria to total Islamized nation. 28 million of your money at that time. Do you want to tell me that there are not people out there that know these things? They are so afraid to speak up. They don't want to speak up, but it does not matter. What I know, and I'm telling the politicians, is that the Fulanis will deal with all of you. All of you. Those of you who are good, just make any mistake. Look at Efkeremadu. He had not even been convicted in London before his goods were, before his whatever assets that he has in Nigeria was confiscated. That's Fulani for you. Opportunity. And Britain, where did they go? The same Britain. All of you politicians, you eventually discover that Ekperemadu is better than all of you because you are catch the way we kill chicken at Christmas. One by one. Mark it somewhere. Food. Go and mark it somewhere. It's going to happen. Definitely going to happen. It's a matter of time. It could have knocking 10 years. Upon all the money he has, he's still going to all human trafficking. Whatever he does, he did. Senators went from here there to make sure that they release him for where. That is all of you that are going there. You are even lucky you came back, because any slate pocum in foreign land, they will keep you there. Fulani will tell them, please don't let him come back. Then they are prepared, their trust, daily trust. I think that is their newspaper. They will brandish you the worst criminal on earth. And Nigerians being who they are, they believe it. The press will just carry it on their head, just like they carry the IPOB, a terrorist organization. They carry it on their head, and they there. How many years did it take them to declare Boko Haram terrorist organization? They go to court, they say, oh, okay, prescribed IPOB. They are the ones singing it. But you know something? It does not end there. It does not bother anybody. IPOB, God knows, we live everywhere in the world. I am living in the United States of America. We're very organized anywhere we are. And the world knows that we are not a terrorist organization. We are just freedom fighting organization. We are people who are trying to get justice. That's all. So if you think that by going to court, who sings these songs? The press. They do something illegal, the press doesn't talk about it. The press doesn't ask questions. I remember the Watergate. It was this journalist in Washington that wrote something that made the whole president throw in the bucket and walk away. Does it ever happen in Nigeria? No, it doesn't. What they sing about is that things that are not, they're supposed to be news media. And news media, they are working for the people. It used to be government before that owns every paper, every television station, every radio. But things have gone. Things have changed. But the journalists, are they helping issues? They are not. They know the truth and they will never speak about it. And anyone that tries to speak too much, they try to, threaten his life. But you know something? If you are afraid to die, why do you want to swim in the Atlantic Ocean? Because you might get drowned. So you don't just want to be a journalist to lie. Then you are not ready. If you're a journalist and you want to be a journalist, be like the Raymond Ekbu and the rest of them. Delegiwa, yes, those were the journalists of our time. And these people were in a more dangerous time. They were writing when the juntas were there. Today you have civilians that are there, that you can take them to court if they harass your business. But you are still afraid to speak up. They come in, they tell you, oh, this is IPOB is prescribed. Okay, give them time. After 2 weeks, ask them a question. What happened to your case in court? You took these people to court. What has happened? You don't say things like that. For you, Nnamdi Kanu has committed the worst crime on earth by trying to save you, by trying to make you look like humans. Nnamdi Kanu is not advocating for Biafra alone, for God's sake. Who is enjoying Nigeria today? Who is happy? All you do is now, wow, the man is trying to bring you out of that garbage. And you are there. The journalist himself is not even enjoying himself. Enjoying what? All you enjoy is the celebrity will see you on TV. So, but after the TV, what happens? You face reality. You go to the street, you drive your car, the police will stop you and harass you. The army will stop you and harass you. Maybe when you get back to your TV, you become a celebrity. Speak of those things when you get there. That's why people just talk. They just talk. Tell the truth. If you're a journalist that speak the truth, speak it. Somebody, I listened to Fela Kuti's son, talking about, he said something and spoke about journalists. He is right. Don't be selective in your judgment. Don't care who says it. If somebody says the truth, please investigate it. If it is the truth, blow it up. Don't make it look like the government. Nobody said that what Kuti did was very correct. No. But the point is that journalists go in there, investigate things. You can be very, very righteous in what you're doing. The IPOB prescription, I've said it before. How can you sit down there as a journalist? You call yourself a journalist. You are in the national television. The whole world is watching you. And you're saying, oh, they found out that those who did this is IPOB or ESN. Did you go to find out if it is true? Using the word alleged is not enough, for God's sake. If you want to do a job, you want to be a journalist, be a journalist. Speak up. Nnamdi Kanu is not a journalist. He tells you the truth. All you need to do is investigate, find out whether what he's saying is the truth. There is silence everywhere. Nobody's talking anymore. You people are advocating what is killing you. You are the ones swallowing this rat poison that is killing everybody, and it's going to eventually take care of you. It's a matter of time. If you always speak the truth, you will know. Nnamdi Kanu was abducted from a foreign country without going through legal process. He was brought into your country, that where you are a journalist. All they said, oh, Nnamdi Kanu had been arrested. You never asked how was he arrested? How? You didn't investigate, do your own private investigation to find out how did they bring this man here. You never went to Kenya or called the Kenya people and say, how the hell did it happen? What happened? No. All you kept on singing it. He was arrested. Journalists in Nigeria was, until the lawyer said this is extraordinary rendition. Shame on all of you. The man that said he's a lawyer is not even a journalist. He tweeted that this is an illegal abduction. These are things that you're supposed to find out as a journalist. No, you will not. Because you are afraid of them. But what will happen to me if what will happen to my wife and the children when they put me in jail? Why would they put you in jail? You're telling the truth. And then the court. They went to court and they keep dragging. You brought him back from where he was minding his business in Kenya, and then you bring him here. Why are you afraid to go to court? You took him to court. In the end, the appeal court said, no. You committed a crime. You cannot uphold a crime with a crime. Let him go. Today, your Supreme Court is keeping that man there. Come on, guys. Why are you not thinking? What is wrong with the Raymond Dekpo and the Delegiwa type of journalism, for God's sake? What is wrong with that? What has changed? None of you is talking. Nobody is opening his mouth. Because once you tell, they are going to come and warn you. They lie to you. I told you that the United States President, Nixon, left office because of what a journalist wrote in Washington. A journalist like you. Not brown envelope journalism. Just say it the way it is. Not being vindictive and trying to be selective in who you attack and who you don't attack. If it happens to Keke, say it. If it happens to Dele, say it. If it happens to Amadu, say it. It does not matter. Only in Nigeria that these things happen, and you people are the ones that are supporting this evil. They use your money, they try to block the facts, they try to block the truth. And you sit down there and you fold your hand and you don't say anything. In which country can you put in somebody that hasn't done anything in prison because you think he's coming out, he's being out there, he's going to influence people? Influence who? If Nnamdi Kanu is a liar, who do you think he will influence? There are people that he cannot influence. He can't influence people like me, definitely. But when I can resolve with what he is saying, I will say it. That this is not right. And you know it is not right. If it happens to him today, it can happen to you tomorrow. The broom, they said, the broom, when you're sweeping and the broom is bunched together, you can't break it. But when the broom is one single, you can always break it. If you don't bond with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in what he's saying, you are going to see hell. The hell will continue. It's not over. It's not going to be over today or tomorrow. You can put in anybody you want as president of Nigeria. He's not going to save Nigeria. Nobody. Anybody who sits out there and thinks that Nigeria can be saved because of the ethnicity of presidency, you're a fool. You don't know anything. Nigeria's problem is not who is the president. Nigeria's problem is that Nigeria is not a country. Some people went out there and got a bunch of people and put them together and christened them and called them Nigeria. It never happens anywhere. Who created Great Britain? Let me ask, who created Nnewi? Let me go back home. Nobody. You grow up and you know that your name is, this is what your name is. Maybe you ask questions, your ancestors came in, something happened, and they gave birth to somebody who came to a place and started producing children, and over the years, and they eventually become a country. Not where the British man will come all the way from England. Created a market, a big market for himself. The market started growing, and all of a sudden, he says, this market has grown so much that I think I have 4 markets out there, 3 markets out there. Let me put them together and call them, give them a name. Even there was difficulty in getting a name until a concubine just says, why don't you, this is a nigger area. These are where black people are for fool. So let's call it nigger area. And it was called to Nigeria. It's Nigeria. If the Frenchman wants to say it, you gotta ask Frenchman, say what? He say, oh, Nigeria. That's what they call it. You call it Nigeria. In the place for black monkeys are all filled up. So let's give it a name. And that name is what everybody is still clamoring today and think it's going to lead them anywhere. I have a call. Let me take this call. Caller, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling.
Yeah, Mazi Iyke, we can call now, right?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Mazi Iyke, for having me. And happy Sunday to you and your family. Happy Sunday to Biafra worldwide.
Yes.
Mazi, you are hitting it the way it is. You are saying the way it is, Mazi. You see, what I want to say here before I comment, Mazi, you see about this, something you talk about, Ike Ekweremadu.
Yes.
Mazi, Ike Ekweremadu, they jailed him for 10 years. I'm coming to say something here. And they jailed the doctor that tried to transplant this organ to this guy. They jailed that guy also 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is this. They're jailing this guy because he's a doctor that want to transplant illegal transplantation to the victim. And why I'm saying this always, I know Ike Ekweremadu don't have any more chance to say something. Why can't you say the same thing, that the same Buhari we are talking of come to this country, come to England, this country, and die here?
Yes.
And the doctors and those that know about this, they keep quiet. Is it not a conspiracy? The same conspiracy that make to jail this doctor who want to transplant this guy organ, that make him to get 10 years. The same thing this man should say, they should have arrested all the whole doctors that involved in Buhari case. Those doctors that involved in Buhari case, they should have arrested all of them because it's a conspiracy.
Yes.
This man came to your hospital and died in your hospital, and you keep quiet, you didn't say it. Why can't you open up? Maz, the whole thing we know about this, all of them know that Buhari is no more.
Yeah.
Oshomole said it when they want to remove him as a chairman of APC. What did he say? He said, if you touch me, what I will say, we burn us a rock. He said it, Maz. They know it. All of them know it. What is name again? Okoro Hausa say, if you touch me, Nigeria will burn within 24 hours. Maz, all of them know that Buhari is no more there. But due to threat, made them to keep quiet. They don't want to say nothing. It's not only the Maz. Many of them know. Adeboye, who is a pastor, he went to England to see. He came back, he said, if anything your eyes see, it's not anything you have to say. Not everything your eyes see, you have to say. And a preacher and a pastor is afraid of human being. And he say he believes in God. Mas, can you see that? When people are hitting this Christianity and people thought that they are against them. No. It's when you see the truth and you cover it, you are worse than the devil. How can a man who congregates a millions of people following him now can see the truth and cover it up because afraid of threat? Who is threatening you? Who is greater than God you are serving? If truly you are serving God with your heart and you see truth and you cover it up and you are afraid of human being than God, and you are telling your followers to fear God than human being, and you that leading them is fearing human being than God, does it make sense? It did not make any sense, man. All of them is under threat. They know that Buhari is died and buried. And as you said, Mazi, when they will, I know they are realizing it, but when they will say it, Mazi, it's already late. People will say, forget it. The man have gone, Don't forget about it. If they bury him today or tomorrow, it doesn't matter. But this man have caused havoc in that country. The man they put in post have caused serious havoc. Do you know what he say? He say if IPO, he say if Nigerian threaten him, he will go to Niger. He will go back to Niger where he come from. Yep. Everybody know, and they debate it. You know, this journalist, this Brian Envelope, they debate over it. They say, why should our president leaving office and commenting that he's going to Niger? Why going to Niger? They just laugh over it. You know, everything about it is joke. Everything is joke. Everything joke. They take it as a joke. Now the chapter have closed. This man have gone out now. Nobody will talk about him. Only one day now they will say they want to bury Buhari is dead. But it's already died and buried for a long time. Man, that is what's going on in that country. Everybody keep quiet for threat. They don't want to lose their what they have. Like Ike Kweremanu now, they never sentence him as you said, but all his assets now have been sold off. Everybody, they put it auction. If you want to buy, come up, make your this thing, they will give it to you. Now the man will serve now and he will not get nothing. You see, the money is supposed to use to take service people. Now, Fulani have taken it back again. Fulani have taken the money back again. The same thing to do to this guy that in America now, jubilating. What is his name again? Governor of Anambra State. When he leave, what did they do? EFCC carry this man. What did he do? He go there to vomit money. He vomit money and give them their own share. They say, come and give us our own share, we leave you. He give them their own share, they leave him, he go away. The same money he get from Anambra State, he give it to Fulanis, and they leave him, he go back to America, begin there to jubilate. Mars, we are in serious problem. Only Biafra will save us. Yes. And as we are fighting Mars, we are no going back until we get Biafra. Without Biafra, Mars, we are finished. Mars, thank you for having me, and God bless you.
God bless you. God bless you so much, my brother. This is happy Sunday for everybody. All right, like I said before, traders blocked from moving out their goods as federal government demolishes the largest electrical appliance market in Abuja. All right, let me read. This is the news that's coming in. The federal government of, let's say this, the FCT administration, Department of Development Control, is currently supervising the demolition of popular UTC markets at Area 10 in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. Men of the Department of Development Control under the FCT armed stormed the market as early as 7 a.m. with heavily armed men and earth-moving machines. Don't forget that who owns these traders? Who are these traders? They are Biafrans, Igbo people. The armed men stormed traders or stopped traders from evacuating their goods, while the heavy machines started the demolition of the massive market, which has for decades served as the main hub of printing business in nation's capital. The market is popularly known as a hub for electrical appliances, especially refrigerators and all air conditioners, contributing to the billions in tax receipts the federal government draws annually from the mostly Igbo traders there. These are Igbo traders, I keep saying it. Everything they are doing is to destroy you. Traders in the market are openly protesting the demolition of their sole means of livelihood without much notice. The demolition of the market started in April as earlier reported. The demolition continued today under the supervision of the FCTA officials. Yeah, this is just a warning. that we know that's going to happen. We keep on saying it, whether you want to listen to us or not. You can do whatever you want to do what you think is right for you. But we know that you don't stand a chance. The Igbos have no place. The Biafrans have no room in Nigeria. All we want is our Biafra, and that's the only thing that will save us. Take it or leave it, whether you like it or not. This is Radio Biafra. Keep calling us.
ụmụnne m ndị Biafra, oge eruokwala ọzọ mgbe ndị ụka eji gụọ ọnụọgụgụ n'isi nke ha kpọrọ Census 2023. Unu ahụlanụ na ihe ahụ ejiri ree mbe ihe na o kwesịghị ka ọ bụrụ ihe a zụrụ ya, ha ebidokwala ya ọzọ. Anyị onwe anyị bụ ụmụ Biafra, IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra Worldwide, n'okpuru onye ndu anyị bụ Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, na-eme ka ụmụ Biafra niile dọrọ aka na ntị na ngụgụ ọnụ nke isi n'isi akpọrọ Census 2023 ga-ebido n'obodo a bụ Naijiria n'oge na-adịghị anya. Anyị ji ohere a na-agwa ụmụ Biafra niile ebe ọbụla ha nọ, ị nọ n'ala Yoruba, ị nọ n'ala Awụsa, biko lọtawa dịka anyị na-esi eme ya n'oge Ekeresimesi. Onye ọbụla ala Lagos agba achako, ugwu Awụsa agba achako, ya dịka ebe agbara ọsọ abịala n'oge ahụ, ka anyị were otu a lọtawa bịa gụkọta isi anyị ọnụ makwa n'oke anyị ha, n'ihi na amara imere onye kpọrọ gị asị kwuru ọhịa. Anyị agaghị abụ chataizi gachọrọ ka anyị ehie n'ezi. Ma ọ bụ trọk a ga-eji vụchi ivu, ọ dịghị ihe anyị ga-awụ ọtụ. Ebe ha kpọrọ gị asị na Lagos, oru na elekshọn ha achụpụ gị, oru na ihe ọbụla dị mma ha achụpụ gị. Ọ bụ nke a ugbu a ka a ga-eji tinye n'ọnụọgụgụ ha si na Lagos rukwara nke a, Abuja rukwara nke a, ugwu Awụsa rukwara nke a, na ha ka n'ọnụọgụgụ. Mba n'ọnụ ka anyị mụrụkwanụ na ihe lọtazie, ka agụkọta anyị ka mba ụwa mara na ndị a niile na-achọ Biafra n'ọnụọgụgụ ha erika karịa ihe ha che na ọ bụ oge anyị ga-eji were mara ihe. Oge sensus a, biko ọ dị anyị mkpa unu mara ihe unu ga-eme, n'ihi na igurube na-ekwu ekwu na-eripịa osisi. Ọ na-abụ anyụkọ mamịrị ọnụ ya agba ụfụfụ. Onye ọbụla emekwala anya ụra na nke a, latawanụ, n'ihi na mba ụwa ga-eji amara ọnụọgụgụ anyị makwaranụ ndị na-achọ ya. Census 2023, oge anyị ga-eji degharịa ihe a British dere banyere ọnụọgụgụ anyị. Ekwekwala ka akọrọ gị akọ, emekwala anya ụra na nke a, n'ihi na ọ dị anyị mkpa. Lọtawa, ịdị anyị mkpa ka ị soro ụmụnna gị n'oge ngụkọ ọnụ a, ka anyị mara oke anyị ha, ka ọ ga-abụ mgbe a ga-eke oke amara mmadụ ole a ga-ekenye oke. Nwanne, o ruola n'omume o, a sịkwala na anyị agwaghị. Census 2023, Nigerian Census 23, mgbe ụmụ Biafra ga-eji laa n'ala ha ka agụkọ ọhụụ ọnụ mara oke ha dị. Ebe onye bịara abịa na-adịghị egbu nkwụ ọkpụlọ, ọ bịara abịa ejideghị akụ flawa o. Ozi a ka anyị na-ezigara gị bụ nke si n'aka ndị Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, na-abịara unu ọnụrụ ka ala ibe.
Come is a prince, I don't come again, you know.
And it sounds the beating.
Oh, come is not the success. No one and the microphone. You don't tell when we dey fight for this freedom. You don't tell when we dey fight for this freedom. All we need is the referendum. 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 Tell me what to do, tell me what to do, tell me what you see, tell me what you see, tell me what you know. Are we talking about the referendum? Oh, you see, I have to go for long. We never become slave for long. Back in the days, you know what's up. But because of who the focus to come out. I remember when my father they tell me about the war. Then spend so much money just to tolerate. Yes, you go. Success is one my typically go man. You don't tell when we dey fight for this freedom. You don't tell when we dey fight for this freedom. All we need is the referendum. 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 Yeah. You don't tell me to fight for this freedom. To fucking capture my iron. Go rescue your children. Even if I can't show make we don't mind all these politicians. So no mind never just come around. No promise us heaven and earth. You no go see anything after the election. No election in Biafra land. The world we go sit at home that day. Make you no forget yeah.
One race to carry out any of his blessings, or should I say undertaking, at any point in history. What am I trying to say? When God wanted to develop Southeast Asia, he used Japan. When Elohim wanted to industrialize the world, he used Britain. It was called the industrial, first the agricultural revolution and then the industrial revolution. When Elohim wanted to educate the world as to the, should I say, niceties or benefits of social media, should I say, the internet and all the rest of it, the virtual world, so to speak, he brought in the US. When Chukwuemeka Biama wanted to make mobile phones available to everybody, he brought Nokia. I think that's in Finland. Mass production. When Elohim wanted the cost of goods and services to be reduced drastically, that poor people living in Africa can afford to have a flat screen television, he brought China for mass production. Now listen to me very carefully. The time has come. God Almighty wants to liberate not just Biafra, not just those who are in the zoo, but the whole of Africa. And you know what God has done? He has chosen Biafra to do it. Because without Japan, today China wouldn't be great.
Lies beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary place.
I'm so sorry about that. The tape just slipped and we'll still go back to it. This is Radio Biafra USA 2, our leader speaking to us in his past broadcasts and telling us philosophy that he has been telling us the truth as usual. He's somebody who is very, very sure whatever he says, and because over the time we're going to find out that there is no lie in him. There is nothing that he says that is not going to happen. He says it happens. He says it happens. And whether I want to accept it or don't want to accept it, that's left for you. I will take another call before I proceed on this one. Let me call her. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Dada Peters.
Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Dada Peters, we go to Kokikabia, make a kero there. We are going home there. Biafrans all over the world, anywhere you are. We are one thing in mind. Without Biafra, we have nothing left for we Biafrans again on this planet. Go and check. Dada Peters or Washi, he will get lucky. We did not come here to insult anybody. No. And we are not arrogant. We are very IPOP, wicked people. We are here to restore our land. This is our land. That Britain don't want us to be. And Britain is making sure that we, the Biafran people, will suffer because we bear their names. Yes, and they brought everything about them to us. That is why we Biafrans, we refuse to see danger. That our leader, that Nnamdi Kanu, was kidnapped in Kenya. God, look at the clip that Peter just finished. That Chukwu Okike established a social nation, and this is the turn of Biafrans. Britain, why not go and meet the Chike? What powers, why not go and meet him and bring our leader out? And you people should settle. Is it because of our oil that you don't want us to leave? And then the Peter, I think I'll quote that of the can promise to make sure that every neighboring nation get oil free of charge.
All right, we have interruption there on your WhatsApp. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Jaban.
That ticket does him. Sirach chapter 8, Sirach chapter 9, Sirach chapter 10, Yana Sirach chapter 11, there don't go get it. And Sirach chapter 10, verse 4, verse 5, verse 10, and verse 20 underline there. Even a doctor, a king may be alive today and tomorrow he die. That Peter saw what say. Even the doctor, the brigade, he don't even know what to visit. Whether this is a kidney, whether they go remove them. That Peter's. But when go wherever you know, if not that I love Biafrans and proposing punishment to change the brain of Indim. That Peter's our Chilean, I know
All right, there's a consistent interruption from your WhatsApp, so gonna have to end this call. This is Radio Biafra USA 2, and the number here is 646-920-4541, 845-344-7984, 929-406-9953. I spoke about journalists in Nigeria who are not helping in issues that is going on in the country where they are, and they are supposed to be the backbone, the voice of the masses. They go into sensation. Everybody's there are so many of them that are reporting, but the truth is that we take the major ones and look at them, and the way they are so proud, they raise their head, they prescribe the IPOB, you say ESN this, ESN that, without proper investigation. It is happening, and when it's, one thing, it's not isolated. The punishment, the suffering is for everybody. It doesn't isolate those who suffers and those who don't suffer. Because these people are just there, they don't think. But because you are supporting them, the referencing point I told you that the journalists can take away a tyrant from office. This is the truth. It has happened before. Nixon is a very good example. Caller, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Mazi Iyke.
No.
Good afternoon from here, our veteran. My name remains Mazi Iyke. I'm calling from blessed land of Biafra, Abakaliki Bisaziri. I am from Otokumaka, Enugu province. So I reside in Abakaliki province. Mazi Iyke, the road of Biafrans, great Biafrans. Our leader is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's our religion. On this hollow platform is where we worship. Chukwu Okike is our God. What we are looking for and what we are fighting for is Biafra. We are not dragging anybody's back. We are not trying to destroy any race. What we are praying and fighting for to answer our name. We are Biafran before British came here to destroy us, and they continue. Chukwu Okike, God of our land, the God of our ancestors, the God of the truth, the God of honor, is the God of peace, the God of faith, the God of sacrifice, the God of wisdom, the God of freedom, who created our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to come and save his own people. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came and do the needful. Today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in the DSS dungeon. Who sold him is our own people too. Every politicians in our land who gang up and trying to destroy him. But Chukwuka Abiyama, we trust you. Only you we trust. We are not afraid of them. What we are afraid of is the destruction of Chukwuka Abiyama. But we know our hand is clean. The hand of our leader Mazi Nnamdi is clean. That is why every time we lead Psalm 70 to make sure that we remind Chukwuka Abiyama, making protect our leader for us, save him from the lion's mouth. Because what our leader is suffering today is the same thing that they are reading in the Bible. I said, Daniel, do this, Daniel, do that. And today, praise Chukwuka Abiyama. Save our leader from us. What we are asking for is our leader to be free. We are not looking of anybody. We are not dragging anything. What we are asking our people to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is free where it is. We know that our people sold him, but we continue fighting until we make sure that the truthful man, the honest man, the only honest I ever see, since I know what truth all about, is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and we can never allow to raise him like that. Chukwuka Abiyama help us in the name of Chukwuka Abiyama. Isa. Mazi Iyke, we're talking about journalists in our land. Great Biafrans, especially those who are in Biafra land present and facing the heat. There is something I want everybody to know. You see journalists, you see these people called religious leaders, you see these people called politicians, these three things in our land. These people have dealt with us so much. These people can lie. These people can cover up. They can use small money and sow their own people. If they see the truth, they will tell you it's a lie. That is what we are suffering today. Great Biafrans. What I want everybody to know is this. All of us can never be evil. All of us can never contribute to destroy our own land. We must answer our name. I know in our land, good people are more populated than bad ones. If we join hands together, we can destroy these people. Journalists in our land, because we know all of them. We have friends who are journalists. Sometimes you try to throw something to know what they will tell you. They will tell you that, see, Nigeria is a different country. If you did not did what politicians told you to do, hungry will kill you. They will just open up and tell you the truth immediately. So they are working the side of politicians because them are controlling the money, the resources of the zoo. Whatever they are told them that we do, I told them, please, if we continue like this, who can save us? We must think that all of us can never be evil. This is the worst thing that will happen in a race, that everybody is a lie, everybody is doing bad, you know. But they will tell you, they can never jump into that kind of fire. Because I remember there's one man they are called Nnamdi. If you see when this man open up and said and talk about what Dave Mai doing in Ebonyi State, Dave Mai nearly killed that man. That is only God to save that man. See, today, I hear that he won the case, that they said Dave Mai should compensate him with 50, or is it 50 million, you know, something. See, today, no way. You know, our people should understand. Let us use this man, this prophet that Elohim sent for us, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let us stand on his back, fighting this thing until we get ourselves free from these people. If you know, Fulani are fighting to us with all type of things in the whole world. Evil, all the evil in the whole world is against us. But what we know is that we are fighting freedom to liberate ourselves. But all the evil in the whole world. Journalists, all the social media, all the world power who are benefiting from evil that is happening in Nigeria is against us. So only thing our people are praying, yes, we need to stand up and pray and fight and pray. Let God remove fear. Fear. You see fear. What I'm seeing in our land now is fear. Fear can kill all of us because when you hear, you see everybody running like somebody in will control. So Biafran, great Biafran, stand firm on whatever you are doing that is good. We must win this battle. We must. And we can never leave this thing for our children. We will never leave this thing forward. We will do everything humanly possible to defeat Fulani and evil British and all these evil politicians in our land who gang up to destroy us. If you're a criminal in our land, you know when we catch you, we know how it normally happens. So you better repent and follow the good ones so that our land can be peaceful and we can build a good society that everybody can move 24 hours without fearing anybody. So that is what we are fighting for. When your children finish school, you get your job, doing whatever is good, like other human and the whole world. Great Biafran, Udo Chukwu Kuka Biama, everybody continue leading the psalm, pray for our leader, for Chukwu Kuka Biama to have mercy on us. In the name of Elohim, Chukwu Kuka. Great Biafra, Udo Chukwu Kuka na Dironu.
There were. Thank you so much. All right, this is Radio Biafra USA 2. I was here about 10 minutes ago on the program. This is the number here, 646-920-4541, 845-344-7984, 929-406-9953. Call us. The lines are still open for you.
Hey! Don Prince Victor! Ibo Mado! Anya Begun! Biafra Deje! No! Obia! Ije! Freedom! Na udoka inario! Anya Johnny Hippo for Barameno! Aye bundi Biafra bundi judo na aga! Makiro makeju na aga no! Oga de kwara ina ma! Omo Biafra Biafra natako Ibo wen madu no Ibo wen madu natako Omo Biafra Biafra natako No Ibo wen madu natako Eji megu mekine Tifu Nnamdi Kanu Odogwo ga dere mma Onye eze na odogolo di mma Okwa ndị solo gili n'ụwa akọlọgo gili lata Osisi bolo tolo Enesego n'ụmakwere Okwanye ma n'ọnọdụ ugo Ọdụrụ na-egbe mma Okokoko onyarụ Anachụwa ya ọsọ Ose ekwensị eliko nni Oge jikwe n'ogologo ngaji Dike Kanu kipu na London Dike Kanu kipu na Israel Dike Kanu kipu na Russia Dike Kanu kipu na India Dike Kanu kipu na Biafra Nnamdi Kanu Dike Kanu kipu na Biafra Nzobu Enyi mba enyi Nzobu Enyi mba enyi Anyị ga-azọgbu ndị ilo Enyi mba enyi Nzobu Enyi mba enyi Ụmụ Igbo niile bekene Biafra natako Igbo nwe mmadụ anatako Igbo nwe mmadụ nọ Biafra natako Ewo ọ dịwola anyị Igbo nwe mmadụ anatako Onye wele kesi zanye n'osisa le Onye wele ke chukwu nye no chukwu okike obiọma Onye give God what belongs to him and give Caesar what belongs to him. As we seek for peace and humanity, it's not at all for vanity. There are once people that's killing each other. I wonder why my brother who could be a children are forgetting the men. I'm forgetting the men. Fellow, let my people go. Biafra Natako. Let my people, let my people. Even when man Natako. They don't love again, Biafra Natako. Even when man no. Even when man Natako. Oh, Judene la Pudene. Udena Pulano. Mananya Pulono Denenua.
Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home.
Alert for all Biafrans and all members of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB worldwide, lovers of freedom all over the world. We shall be calling and tweeting to the world leadership and governments. The Biafra Worldwide phone call and Twitter campaign alert is on from the 20th of April to 12th of May 2023.
Yeah, that was an old one. I'm sorry about it. This is Radio Biafra USA 2. It was a call. The lines are still open for you to make your calls.
Jehovah, keso kusaru Israel, nakaperu. Bile natalo keranio. Bale natalo keranio. Bile natalo keranio. Biafra bukanio. Obudama. Biafra bukanio. Ala chukutere manu. Zobu, eh, zobu, eh, zobu. Zobu, Eyimba, Zobu, Eyimba, Anya Zobu, Numbeno, Eyimba, Zobu, Eyimba, Zobu, Eyimba, IPOB, Zobu, Eyimba, Zobu, Eyimba,
The spirit of Biafra, free Nnamdi Kanu, get it for me. I chip on one dynasty, get it for me. And let you one day, get it for me. When you do the pay and you're get it for me. Can you chetan? I can't get it for me. I chip on one dynasty, get it for me. One day, one day, get it for me. When you do the pay and you're get it for me. Can you chetan? I can't all the things to do, because think of what he told us. Now we should have ability to reason. They started to create division among us. Hey, take our resources and left us fighting. I'm more Biafran than you are. I'm both member than you are. Biafrans Biko Chitapa. I'm more Biafrans than you are. I'm both member than you are. Biafrans Biko Chitapa. Get it for me. I chip on one dynasty. Get it for me. One day, one day, get it for me. One day, do the pay, get it for me. Can you chetan? I can't get it for me. I chip on one dynasty, get it for me. Nwanne chire nwanne ya, kedu ife o mere anyị? Onye ndu na-eme anyị arachi, kedu ife o mere? Ka anyị chetakwa n'aka ya dị ọcha. Ọfọ n'ọgụ ka ọ ji eje. Anụ na-eme n'obodo ka ọ ji eti ụtụtụ n'anyasị ya. Afụfụ na-ata akwa maka obi nwanne. Chukwu okike anyị, adịrị egbu ọnụ m Biafra kulie elu. Ode chichichi, akpọdokwa anyị ka ha ji. Anyị nọzi chichichi. Ka anyị kulie elu na my people. Kedu ife o mere? Anyị ji ọnwa n'anyasị. Kedu ife o mere? Nwanne chire nwanne ya, kedu ife o mere? Onye ndu na-ebe anyị anachi, kedu ife o mere?
All right, caller, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Just 2 minutes, please.
Mazi Iyke Peters, good afternoon from here.
Welcome to the program.
I want to thank you for all the good work you're doing and the continuous passing of messages to all IPOBs. I want to thank all IPOBs all over the world for a successful celebration or successful marking of the 30th of May that has come and gone. I also want to bring to our notice that it is not yet over until it is over, as we are all eager, waiting for the release of our leader. I urge all hands to be on deck, that we will fight this fight of continuous insistence until our leader is released. I also want to thank every IPOB family, especially those who made it to the 30th of May in Rome. I want to thank all of you. You know yourselves, your total effort is well appreciated. I urge all of us to know that the fight is on and we will succeed in the name of Chukwuka Biama. Also, I think you will live long. You will see Biafra and you will rule in Biafra. No weapon of the enemy, no evil proclamation of the enemies in secret places that will have any power over you. You are going to grow stronger, 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 stronger with every IPOB who is fighting assiduously, who is working assiduously to make your IPOB succeed in the quest of restoring Biafra. This I pray and believe that Elohim answered it in the name of Chukwuka Biama. I pray. He said, happy Sunday night, brother.
Same to you. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your call. All right. With this, I think I've shut down the phone lines. I don't take any more calls at this time. We are done for the day. Please, I want you to stay tuned because Mazi Iyke is next. Radio Biafra USA 1 is coming in any minute from now. Hopefully, by His grace, tomorrow we shall be together again. But I want you to remember that what we are questing for is our freedom. And that freedom we are going to get. And how are we going to get it? By being resolute, by being consistent, by not jumping from here to there. Don't depend on anybody because nobody, our Lord, our leader had told us that nobody's going to give us Biafra except Chukwuka Biama. Let's not hope that anybody, because they might turn against us in different, you can see the way it's happening. They are speaking from two sides of their mouth. They have already shown you people basically that you are not wanted in that thing called Nigeria. You're not part of them. But if you insist that you are one of them, keep doing what you are doing. But you know something? Nnamdi Kanu said, I need 100 people to declare Biafra. 100 out of the millions. In other words, he's aware that many, many of us will fall on the wayside. It's like a marathon. When you start the marathon, there are thousands of people. By the time you get to the end, there's only one person that will come out as a winner. So we are saying resolutely that Biafra, we want to keep reminding you, is our religion. Biafra is our religion, and it's only here on Radio Biafra that we worship. We tell you the truth, biblical truth. Our truth is the religion we preach. So stay tuned, don't go away. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be with you again. Mazi Iyke is next. From here, from me, it's goodbye.
The last hope we have is in Biafran restoration. I believe.
And you can see where we are today. The unity between the Igbos and the Yorubas is deeper than any such. It is far more fundamental than they can even imagine.
Now, is Biafra your only option, or you are willing to work with other so-called options?
And you can see where we are today. They are rejoicing in the north. They're having fun in the north. That thing they have always done, once again, they have done it. But of course, they cannot break us. This time around, we just want to let them understand this. The unity between the Igbos and the Yorubas is deeper than end-SARS protest. It is far more fundamental than they can even imagine.
Now, is Biafra your only option, or you are willing to work with other so-called oppressed peoples to form a union like it is in the United Arab Emirates?
Everything depends on what the people want. I am a Democrat. I am a Republican by genetic disposition. Anything the people want is what they're going to get. My dream and my mission is Biafra. Let's say during a referendum, people decide we want to be, yes, Biafra is good. We can answer Biafra within a union that comprises of Middle Belt, of Oduduwa and Biafra with a new name. Who am I to say no? I'm a Democrat. Whatever the majority decides is what I'm going to do. But as for us, we are pursuing Biafra. And I will also help the Oduduwa people to pursue the Oduduwa Republic. I will help the Middle Belt to do the same. That one thing is paramount. Should our people decide at a referendum or place beside to say, we want to maintain a semblance of union with Oduduwa and the Middle Belt, who am I to say no? I am a Democrat and I will go with it. But my primary concern now is the restoration of Biafra.
The same technical problems. We are with you live and direct this very evening, the evening of the 12th day of August in the year of our Lord 2015, with the time now standing at very close to, should I say, 17 minutes past 7 p.m. in the evening. We welcome each and every one of you, wherever you are. This is your radio station. This is Radio Biafra. We are live and we are direct as always. I will implore you, I will encourage you to please contact those around you. Tell them that the most viable, the most truthful, the most objective, the most compelling and captivating radio station is on now. And to cap it all off, it is live and direct. This evening we will disseminate. This evening we shall preach. This very evening we shall enlighten. We shall bring people closer to truth, to understanding, to the knowledge of the restoration of the kingdom of heaven upon the face of the earth. Every day when we can, we preach it. It is compulsory. It is a duty not just to man, but to the throne of grace of the Most High, Chukwukika, who liveth in heaven. Tell your friends and your family, use whatever means at your disposal. Sometimes we are given to bouts of laziness and incompetence. This evening I will ask you to jettison both. Don't be lazy. Don't be incompetent. Go on to social media. Use your telephone. Use your text facilities on any mobile phone device in your possession. You can go on BlackBerry. You can go on WhatsApp. You can also go on Twitter. I urge you to go on Facebook to tell your friends, announce it very boldly and compellingly. Let them know that we are live and direct. Let them know that this is Radio Biafra. Let them understand that man did not send us to come, that only Chukwu Okike Abiyama Binigwe determined that we should come. Therefore, our gospel is not inspired by the things of the earth. It is inspired, of course, by the divinity of heaven. That is why we are here, and that is why we must preach it. It is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Nobody can come to us and say that anything we are proposing, anything we are presenting, anything we are analyzing, the way we do it is falsehood. They cannot attack us on the point of principle, philosophy, and ideology. They can only come after us with frivolity, things that are irrelevant. Which passport are you using? As if passport makes any sense or any difference to anybody. When baboons and monkeys leave the zoo, they claim all manner of nationalities in order for them to be able to survive. Because if you say you're from the zoo, you become irrelevant immediately. I have written another piece, of course I have to. Because every day we philosophize. Every blessed day we reason, we think. Because we are deep thinkers. We are natural born intellectuals. As we shall do to the very useless Yoruba man, he's in our sides. He has responded to something we have said, and we are going to shred him as always. Any idiot, if you stray into our territory, we devour you with superior intellect. I tell you. You will see it coming before you, your end. But there is nothing you can do about it. Ask the enemies of this very platform what became of them. We are exceptionally formidable. If you ask the zoo police what is happening to them now in Aba, they will tell you how serious we are. The encounter we had with them at the Iguacha, they understand how serious we are, that this is IPOB, this is its mouthpiece Radio Biafra. We propagate, we preach, we disseminate information to achieve one singular objective: the restoration of the kingdom of heaven. That kingdom of heaven is called Biafra. The weak here, of course not, we don't give a toss. Don't give a damn who you are. We preach the gospel without fear before our enemies. We preach it in a style and in a manner that even those who are deaf and dumb will be able to understand it. We explain everything to the tiniest of detail, the most basic minutiae of detail, for you to be able to understand, for you to also appreciate that our calling is not that of man, ordained by heaven. Chukwu Okike Abiyama. That is why we are here this evening, coming to you via 102.1. I need confirmation that Yenegoa is with us. Let me repeat. I need confirmation listening. Ayelsa is live on 102.1 Biafra FM. Of course, it's CHK. Our own unique brand of broadcasting. This gospel is spreading. I address them today. And let me tell you, I am sorry to say, I believe that Yenegoa can even be more stronger than Iguacha. I'm telling you. Very, very powerful, I tell you. I address them today, very eager, very, very enthused. Men of intelligence, men of raw zeal to go and take back what belongs to them. They don't belong to the nonsense of resource control. It is nice to see men, able-bodied men under arms, saying that what they want is Biafra. That one day is on for that matter. I had to address them earlier today, and believe you me, some of them sounded as if they wanted Biafra more than myself, which is something I thought I would never ever encounter in my life. Very strong. Let me assure you, this gospel is spreading everywhere. In Yenegoa this evening, we should be live and direct, but I need confirmation. I need to be inboxed the confirmation that we are live in Bayelsa. We want to tell the people of the Bayelsa that they produced an idiot in Jonathan. Jonathan is a complete idiot. Because here we preach this gospel without fear. That is why we are formidable, I tell you. We are on satellite. If you ask the Nigeria Broadcasting Commission, they will tell you. Now we were on one platform before, now we are on two. On two satellites. It's costing us money, and then so bloody what? We are indigenous people of Biafra. There is no challenge we cannot meet head on. After all, that is how we became the most viable and the most popular radio station on the face of the earth. Bar none. Bar none. This evening we are coming to you live and direct, and this very evening I will encourage you, I will ask you once again to get your pen and paper. Having reminded you that we are on 102.1, having also told you that we are on satellite on two channels for that very matter, not just one. Two, we are broadcasting on two. On satellite, two separate satellites in heaven. Beaming down to this very earth. Radio Biafra is on both of them. We are also online, radiobiafra.co. One word, radiobiafra.co. In fact, if you go to Google or any search engine right now, type in Radio Biafra. We are there. You can listen to us if you want to do so. Radio Biafra is also on IPO. We have evil around us. Zoological Republic of Nigeria. Please put this entity of hell to shame. We are gathered this evening to listen to your word and to your gospel. We are gathered that you may bless your inheritance. We are gathered to remind you that you liveth forever and ever. Your abode is heaven, this very earth, your footstool. To remember your children and come to their rescue. To look upon our affliction, our suffering, our pain and anguish. To look at us, gnashing our teeth. To see the subjugation and the degradation your children endure on a daily basis at the hands of those who don't even know you, at the hands of those who are not worthy to be called your children. That wasn't your intention for us. That was not your plan, because you wish that we shall live in peace, in harmony with progress and development. But those that surround us are today our lords and our masters, not through any device or capability of theirs, because they tried to invade us before but failed due to your grace. It is through the white man that brought Christianity with them. They gave us the Bible, they handed us over to Quran. That is exactly what they have done, precisely what is against the rule book. We ask you to please come and be merciful. Come and be kind to your children. We are here waiting earnestly for this very miracle that you are performing in our time. We must also thank you for all the wonderful things you have been able to use us to accomplish and to be able to do. Because all over the world today, there is Biafra everywhere. Without your mercy, without the fortitude and the grace which you gave to IPOB, Radio Biafra, the whole world today will not know about you and who you are. As we said, the more you bless us, the more we spread your gospel, the more humanity understands who you are. The more they will know your name, the more they will come to revere it. Because as we said, through us mankind shall see the light. That is why we are the light of the whole world. That is why we exist. That is why we have brought light where there is darkness. That is why anywhere there is hopelessness, especially in the damnable zoological republic, we bring hope. Where there is destitution, we bring succor. Where there is homelessness, we provide shelter. Where there is anguish, we try as much as possible to bring joy. Where there is acute marginalization, we try to bring in inclusion. We have come that this gospel may nourish the souls of those without hope. They may nourish the hopes and the souls of those of them with nobody to turn to apart from thee. Don't turn us away in your anger. We have fallen short, of course, because we are sinful. We are born of flesh, and will have to be. But due to your mercy, you lifted us up. You cleansed us. You made us whole once again. And we are here to preach this gospel, that your name and name alone may be praised. That Biafra will come in the end. That everything that lives on the surface of this very planet will look towards the east and say, we can see the goodness of this dear God, we can see his holiness, we can see his might and his strength, because even if the whole world were to conspire against your creation, you are creation yourself, you will prevail against them. Come and fight for us, because we cannot fight. Come and drive away the enemies of your children, because they outnumber us. Come and restore your inheritance. Make us the guardians of your inheritance. We know who you are. We know the name that even the angels that surround you right now, what they call you. We know how they worship you. We know that very well. At the end, only you and you alone will accept every of our prayer. Anytime we bend down on our bended knees to pray to you, anytime we lift up our hands in prayer or in praise, anytime we cry for joy or in pain and anguish, because we are seeking one favor or the other before you, everything that we are today, that we were yesterday and likely to become in the future, we unremittingly and unreservedly hand over to you for your safekeeping, because we are nothing without thee. Because we are room baby. N'ịhụnanya nke gị pụrụ iche na mmeso ọma gị Chineke ga-anọ n'ime etiti ụmụ gị bụ ndị indigenous people of Biafra si ugbu a ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. Ịhụnanya nke gị pụrụ iche na ọdịmma nke gị na ngọzi nke gị pụrụ iche onye nwe m na Chineke ga-anọgide n'etiti ụmụ gị si ugbu a ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. Ise. Towards the end of that prayer, I had to pray in the language of heaven. You must forgive me if you didn't quite understand that. I was in communion with the angels of heaven. You may not be able to understand if you're a mere mortal. We are Biafrans. We have a special affinity with the creator of the heavens and the earth. His name is Chukwukika Biama, Almighty Creator. Only those who are blessed to come close to him can ever know him. That is the meaning of Chukwukika Biama, in case you don't know. The only name that angels call him in heaven. The only complete name is Chukwukika Biama. That shows how special we are. This evening we are live and direct, and I must go on to remind everybody, in case you do not know, that I am Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of indigenous people of Biafra all over this very planet Earth. I command the armies of Biafra, so also do I direct Radio Biafra. I can only do all of these things with the grace of the same Chukwukika Biama. Therefore, by your mercy, by your grace, O Lord of hosts, I will serve the wonderful people of Biafra diligently, honestly, never retreating in the face of any adversity, always preaching this gospel in truth without fear of anybody, always making sure that consistently this very family all over the world understand our very simple stance and creed on obey one neighbor also. We look after our own. We look after the children of the Most High. True-blooded Biafrans. This is your platform. This is your program. Let us preach this gospel for mankind to understand. We shall present our news headlines and accompanying news summary in line with our protocol, which we must observe. We must do so knowing fully well that we have nothing else, nobody else apart from thee. We are doing so this evening, and we are reinforcing what is now in vogue. I want to prove to the whole world, in the zoo and beyond, that Radio Biafra is compulsive listening, that Radio Biafra sets the political agenda in the zoological republic, damnable by every stretch of the imagination. I was wondering, or should I say pondering yesterday, the mind and the heart, the thinking faculty, the reasonability of the brain of a black monkey from Africa. It then dawned on me, rather miraculously, I hasten to add, that our people cannot reason. Somebody came from somewhere and created what amounted to a monstrosity and named it Nigger area. And you accepted it because you are inferior. Black people from Africa have consistently demonstrated that they are infinitely inferior to their Caucasian European counterparts, because Europeans came and defined your boundaries for you. Europeans came and told you who your relatives are, who you should be in the same country with, who you should inhabit the same geopolitical space with. You cannot do the same thing in a white man's land, but they can come to your place and create artificial countries with artificial boundaries and artificial flags. My question was therefore very simple. Are you telling me that your grandfathers, or some of you, your great-grandfather, even for some of us, our fathers who are older than the zoo called Nigeria, that they never had a country? They never existed until the white man came. Because if you accept the notion of one Nigeria, it means that you have abandoned your history, you have jettisoned who you are. My question will always remain, what was your name before the name Nigeria came into existence? What was the name before the zoological republic came into existence? That is who you are. The sooner you go back to it, the better for everybody. The sooner you return to your original position, the better it is for your psyche, for your prestige, and for common sense you inhabit, or you should inculcate within your skull and your brain. These are the things we teach here, and we must continue to teach it. This is Radio Biafra, live and direct, and Chukwukika Biama is of course presiding. I will bring our news headlines to you, and it is quite shocking what is happening in the zoo. A man is in court because Buhari said he wanted change, and change you're getting. It means that when they look at Buhari, people are listening to us thinking it is legal for a man to go and rape an 11-year-old little girl. Somebody has done it because they listen to Radio Biafra. They think it is the right thing that Buhari did, so they can go and do the same thing, but it is not. It's a crime against humanity, punishable by death, if you ask me. I'm telling you the truth. Punishable by death. This was exactly the same thing that was recorded today as a very old man, a great-great-grandfather, is in court over alleged rape of an 11-year-old girl. Do you know what his defense is? After all, Buhari did the same thing today. He's the president. So maybe if I rape an 11-year-old girl, I will also become a president. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The name of them, of course, it's only Yoruba that can do this, and Hausa Fulani, Islam. Adebo Wale Dauda, Islamic, of course. Rapists, they are. They file an 11-year-old girl and is in court. His defense is that If Buhari can do it, why should I not be allowed to do the same thing? People are indeed insane. Indeed insane. Reported by Punch newspaper, not made up. Let me tell you. We must continue. Economic growth not translating to improved well-being according to the pedophile terrorist, the Dulad of Daura, that only black people who are retarded mentally can see anything good in him. I understand that the very weak, cowardly Yoruba man called Wole Soyinka is now singing the praises of Buhari. I want to prove to you that Wole Soyinka has always been inconsistent. Inconsistency. He's never reliable. Of course, it's Yoruba. What do you expect? As soon as Buhari came in, he's now saying Buhari is a repented man, is a changed man. What has this repented man said or done? He is telling us that economic growth not translating to improved well-being. If you are reading this garbage from outside the zoological republic, you will think that the zoo that the British created called Nigeria, inhabited by monkeys and baboons, that somehow they have an economy. No, they don't. They have what is called a rentier economy. There is a difference between an economy and rentier economy. Rentier economy is where you sell, it's like a banana republic, but only this time around with crude oil. You sell only one produce. And from there, you get or you purchase everything else you're looking for, including toothpick from abroad, which is also imported. Economic growth, they are saying. My question to Buhari is that you are sounding like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Which economic growth? Which sector is growing? Oh, I'm sorry, maybe the fraud sector or the election tribunal sector. As I said this evening, you will now see that Radio Biafra is where they all get their news from. We tell them what to do and they do it. This evening, I will prove it to you as we go along. Buhari is talking about economic growth not translating to improved well-being. What this liar is saying, an Islamic liar for that matter, is that somehow you can convince idiots that the zoo called Nigeria has an economy that is growing. My question is, can you please give us an economic breakdown of you? Just give a GDP. Tell us which sector is growing. Nobody is buying. The greatest earner you have is crude oil. Nobody is buying crude oil. You are no longer allowed to export foodstuffs to Europe. For people in the diaspora that may want to buy a goosey or yam, Ghana has overtaken you on that. You don't export palm oil. Malaysia is on top. So what do you? I forgot fraud and stealing, corruption and looting. Maybe that was what he meant. That the looting, the corruption in the zoo being perpetrated by themselves has not translated to economic well-being for the rest of the people. How can it be? You are stealing all the money. How can it therefore transform into economic well-being? It is not possible. Never, ever possible, I tell you. Economic growth not translating to improved well-being, according to the Dulad of Dawa, according to the Dulad himself. We must continue. Liars and cheats, as if Nigeria has an economy. There is no economy in the zoo. They make nothing. They steal and they export all the money to foreign bank accounts. That is how useless they are. This man is talking about economy as if he understands economy. Can you tell me maybe Dangote importing rice, salt, and sugar alone represents an economy? Or maybe slapping on VAT on alcohol constitutes an economy. Who knows? There is no economy in the zoo. It is collapsing, whatever there is left. The only thing that sustains the zoo is those who are in the diaspora sending money via MoneyGram, Western Union, RIA, and all the rest of the money transfer agencies that you have all over the world. That dollar you are sending back is what is sustaining the zoo. That is all. Nothing more, nothing less. Economy, my foot. Where's the economy? economic growth. Where is, people are lying. Where is the growth? In which sector? That is how you break it down. They think we are not learned. Any idiot can rise up and utter whatever rubbish. I have warned all these Yoruba, Lagos Ibadan Expressway newspapers. If you write rubbish, we shred it here. Before you make any pronouncements on politics or economy, you must verify your facts very well, because we will shred you. Buhari, which economy is growing? I'm asking you before the whole world to tell mankind which economy. That is how you people become liars. That is why when you present a very valid point to an animal in the zoo, they never debate that very point. Today I wrote, and quite rightly so, that I've been thinking and wondering why black people in Africa accepted the boundaries drawn up for them by white people. Why should white people come to Africa and decide who forms a country, or who should be in the country and who shouldn't be? Why must you allow people that have nothing in common with you to determine your fate and your future? It just occurred to me because people cannot reason. And I hate it. That is why I call them baboons and monkeys. Black Africans are backwards intellectually. And unless they listen to Radio Biafra and begin to repent, unless they come here and confess their ignorance and stupidity, behold, they have no future, I tell you. The black race is dead, as useless as ever. I want you as a black African to go to Europe and try to change their boundaries. You see what they will do to you? You want war here? That you allow the white man to come and define your geopolitical space because you're daft. When our people read it, they couldn't debate the points being made. Hey, your mama, your papa, it's you. You are traveling with Nigerian party. No, look at the monkeys in Africa that you want me to be in the same country with. That is why they don't know the meaning of the word legislature. They don't know what lawmaking is all about through democratic process. But here we educate them. Here we teach them. South Africa is now making a mockery of the zoo called Nigeria. Do you know why? I told you that by the time we are finished with Nigeria, oh dear me. Did I not tell you before a few weeks ago that they will be worth nothing before the world? People will look at them with derision. When you look at somebody and you say, are you a Nigerian? The person will tell you, no, I'm not. They will have no face to come out in the public and say, I am a Nigerian. And it's beginning to happen. That is what you have done, IPOB, Radio Biafra. You've done something that was impossible for anybody. Nobody can. You can't do it. Nobody can. This particular thing we are doing unless heaven. Or who go and do the you cannot. I said to the zoo, you will be destroyed. The only weapon we have is the truth. Nothing more, nothing less. And today there is proof in what I'm telling you. Because right now, stolen funds is the key all over the world. South Africa is making a mockery of the zoo, not minding that they have their own baboon in the shape of Jacob Zuma, another incompetent player. Is a black man. What do you expect? Incompetent buffoon he is. A South African online media outfit, Mail and Guardian Africa, my goodness me, came after the zoo saying the money eaten there is bigger than the gross domestic product of 38 countries in Africa. And it's correct. The amount of money being stolen by this so-called elite politician can feed 38 countries in all of Africa. Stolen money, stolen. That is to tell you how dark, how black the minds of these people are. Very, very evil, satanic people. But I'm very glad that thanks to Radio Biafra IPOB, the whole world is now realizing to the point that they're now making fun of the baboons and monkeys that call themselves Nigerians. I promised you that we will destroy the zoo to be worth nothing. Very soon, Cameron and Obama and their associates, they will give up on the zoo. Thanks to this radio, because of Radio Biafra, everybody dealing with the zoo will abandon them. And when you're looking at Buhari, what you'll be seeing in your head is the picture of a baboon, a monkey. As you're looking at him, the picture forming in your head is that of a wild animal in Serengeti. I'm telling you, we will deal with them. Don't worry about that. It's Radio Biafra. South Africa is making fun of them, and rightfully so. Why shouldn't anybody make fun of them? They are baboons and they are monkeys. They loot, they cheat, they pillage, they steal, they rape little children, and they bank all the money abroad. Who is that person? A Nigerian politician. That's how you know them. Rogues in Yoshi. After stealing, they send policemen to go and hunt people speaking the truth. That is what I find despicable about black people. And that is even why I resent these idiots in police uniform more than anything else. They are fools. The person sending you to go and look for IPOB meeting, arrest them, shoot them, the idiots are abroad. That very fool has stolen your money, your future. Your sister or your brother who is a teacher cannot get paid. But when the same person responsible for poverty in your family sends you to go somewhere, you run somewhere looking for who to shoot. Are you not an idiot? You're not police, you're not army. You have no brain. The person sending you to go and look for IPOB, look for those doing Biafra, see if you can poison them. If you cannot poison them, you shoot them. He has not even paid your sister who is the teacher, or your brother who is a doctor, or a nurse. They have not been paid. The road on your street is not built. But the money to build the road on your street is in Swiss bank account somewhere, in the name of Muhammadu Buhari. But I don't blame you. Do you know why I don't blame you? As a black man or black woman in police or army, is because you are an animal. You cannot reason. Because believe you me, if you have the brain to reason, if Buhari sends you to go and shoot anybody, look for Nnamdi Kanu, he's giving me problem. You turn around and you shoot him first. The man is your problem. Anybody sending you to go and kill somebody else, that person is your problem. Turn around and shoot that person dead. That's your guy. They are the problem. They come to you with this nonsense. This Nigeria integrity. It is the duty of the army to maintain the integrity. It's rubbish. I say nonsensical nonsense, garbage. If it is, then Soviet Union should have been won. I know I should be affected more than most, because like the barrister will always say, when one is in full flight, any interruption can feel like a deadly blow. I tell you that. But we must continue. We are working for a very special group of people. We are working for those designed and born by heaven itself. The most high Chukwuka Biama created Biafrans. I mean, the genuine ones are one day I was not those fathered by our Fulani men. We must continue. And as we continue, we ask you to pay particular attention to our gospel this very evening, because it's carrying with it fire and brimstone, I tell you, to destroy every iniquitous human being, every plan of the enemy to try to circumvent or subvert the will of the Most High. We crush it into the dust. We do so with the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. This Radio Biafra welcome you back. African leaders must address problems that prompt emigration, says Cardinal Turkson. Something else he learned from Radio Biafra. This news this evening, a sizable number of them has been prepared to let you understand how formidable we are. That we preach something on this platform, the whole world listens to it. He's a cardinal. He doesn't mind that we once in a while come head to head with those being bamboozled by Europeans, European religion. And I got head to head with them sometimes. He still has spoken what he learned from Radio Biafra. I want to prove to you that this is the finest university on earth. And if I go to gather with proof, facts, and figures. What do you think it means? We are about to shock them. For tampering with our transmission, we are about to shock the zoo. The zoo must fall, I tell you, to fall. African leaders are hopeless. Their children are dying on the way to North Africa through the desert, Sahara Desert, and they die in the Mediterranean. When they get to Europe, they are not treated like dogs. They are lower than cockroaches. And then after that, they begin to wash toilets and do security guard. People are standing up and saying, I am black, I'm proud. What makes you proud? Your children are drowning, trying to scramble into countries of people that claim they are superior to you. Instead of you to try and do something to counter that. Can't you learn from Japan? Learn from them. Do not beg anybody for anything. But useless African people. Half of us is in Saudi Arabia, half of us is in Rome, the other quarter is in Canterbury, the other is in American Pentecostal Church. We are hopeless and useless. There is no originality to Africa, no original thing about it. If you try to believe, you're fetish, they're very fetish. They are calling Chukwu Abiyama. Which deity is that? Only Shoji do believe it. They don't know the meaning of Chukwu Abiyama. That is the name that even the angels in heaven call the supreme creator. They don't know. Why? Because you don't call it that thing that a white man is calling it, which is God. Do you see how useless black people are? Hey, my goodness me, black and useless. African leaders must address problems that prompt immigration. Can they do it? The solution lies in Biafra. As I said, without Biafra, Africa is not heading anywhere. Without Biafra, without Biafra, they cannot make any headway. Without Biafra, every black man is a slave. Every black woman is a slave. Only Biafra can save you, including Alamajiri Nachinama. Including Alamajiri Nachinama. Only Biafra can save you, or else you are finished. Completely and utterly finished. Everywhere around the world is silent right now. Do you know why? Radio Biafra is live and direct. I'm telling you, they were silent. Hearing this very gospel. A gospel from heaven itself. Security operatives to monitor bank accounts of election tribunal judges. I said this evening I'm bringing you news to confirm that Radio Biafra is the most sought after radio station in the world. Because we speak the truth. This type of news headline has never come out ever in this world, in this life. For the very first time, they are going to monitor their bank account of tribunal judges. Why? Because on Radio Biafra we told them, if your father is a judge or your mother is a judge, now is the time to prepare for holidays abroad. Because money is going to roll in from petition and counter petition at the tribunal. They listen to Radio Biafra. Now they're implementing what we said on Radio Biafra. They are now saying that judges, we are watching you, all of you on election tribunal, we are watching you. Without Radio Biafra, would this be possible? We are the only people we go where people fear to go to. We let the whole world know that judges in the zoo are corrupt. They make most of their money once every 4 years during election tribunal. Some of these election tribunals can drag on for about 2 or 3 years. That is how they make their money. And most of them went to Islamic legal studies school somewhere in Kanu. Today they are tribunal judges. They are making money. Because, of course, and white people, they listen to us. They are now asking them, all those things they're saying on Radio Biafra, is it correct? Oh no, leave them, they are rebels, they are renegades, they are rascals. And the people will be telling them, but this is what they said, is it not true? Do you know the white man called them and told them to go and look at the judges going to do tribunal? And now they're coming out with a new law. Security operatives to monitor bank account of election tribunal judges. Monitoring somebody's account, is it not illegal? Is it not a breach of their privacy? But you're in a zoo. Did they sign any waiver, any confidentiality waiver before they became judges? The answer is no. But because you're baboons and monkeys. Some idiot from somewhere near Kotangora will be poking into your bank account. But of course, they won't succeed. All you need to do is to give them some money. And they will dare to go and start building a house. Every one foundation somewhere. So People must understand how backwards Africa is. Security operative to monitor bank accounts of election tribunal of judges. Why? Because Radio Biafra made it clear to the whole world. Without Radio Biafra, would this have happened? The answer is no. So stop pretending you baboons and monkeys in the zoo. You listen to Radio Biafra, you go and do exactly what you're saying. And then you come back and say, oh, why don't you want to ban them? But right now you're listening. Some of you under the bed. Some of you hiding behind your wife's wrapper to listen to Radio Biafra. But we are here. We never ever go away. We are live and direct. Defense headquarters condemned suicide attack in the northeast. Is it not quite ironic that since the Dulad came in, the killing done by Boko Haram has increased, but nobody wants to talk about it? After looking, I want to ask Wole Soyinka, he talks so much rubbish. Wole Soyinka, that man, if you listen, some of you are taken aback by his white beard and the Nobel Prize. You think, oh, he's Nobel. That man talks nonsense. He hardly makes any sense. Go and listen to, if you like, sit down, listen to all Soyinka's interview. He makes no sense. If you have common sense inside you, you will know. Defense headquarters today are condemning suicide attacks in Awasa Fulani land, in Kanu to be precise. And somebody like Soyinka will get up and say that Buhari is doing very well. When quite clearly on the issue of security, the main reason why America rigged Buhari into office, Buhari has failed completely and totally. Completely and totally. They said once he gets in there, Boko Haram will stop. But the attack has increased, hasn't it? Can't you see it all around you? How can you see it that this man is a failure on the security front? You still come out and say that he's doing very well. That betrays who you are. When you look at, oh, is a professor happened and they know nothing. There is nothing in their brain. I have given him a very simple test. Wole Soyinka, any day I catch you in a live debate, and it will happen. After that very debate, they will strip you of your Nobel Prize. I will expose you to the world that you're a fraud, that your brain is empty. I will destroy you within 5 minutes. If I don't destroy you within 5 minutes, you don't have to Nnamdi. For only 5 minutes, I will deconstruct you from top to bottom, using facts, figures, and evidence. Buhari is performing clearly worse than Jonathan in terms of controlling Boko Haram. But you're saying he is doing very well. Typical Yoruba, speaking from both sides of the mouth. That man is nothing. I'm telling you the truth. Intellectually, he's a lightweight. He is nobody. If you sit him in front of me, within 5 minutes, you won't know him anymore. You run away from there. I promise you. It is out of his so-called professorship that I give him 5 minutes. If not, it's only 2 minutes. He will just wither away and die. Because he's nobody. Go back to all his interviews and see if he makes any sense. The answer is zero. He doesn't. But to you, you think he is. You're getting a laugh funny. Am I here? Oh, I feel sorry for you people. Boko Haram now have a new leader, and that new leader is open for dialogue, according to Idris Deby. Very, very deceitful man, Chad president. Now, I have been warning you before. You never believe me. As I said this evening, I don't know, maybe Oge prepared all this news to convey a particular message. I don't know, but I'm getting it anyway. This is how our Fulani people operate. I told you before that they were creating radio stations, naming it Biafra, to confuse all of you. At a point, they said, oh, Radio Biafra have been jammed and closed. They have now opened a new one to channel all of you to the one that they created. Ojon provocateur. It's a French phrase. Or should I say a French word? That's what it's called. They prepare somewhere for you. You are like a cattle. They hang a senior crowbar. Oh, come, there is fire. Can you run in here? It's safe. You run. You don't know it's a cage, it's a trap. They did the same nonsense with Radio Biafra. They are now doing it Boko Haram. Boko Haram never issued a statement saying that they now have a new leader. No, they never did. It is the Chadian Awasa Fulani president who is saying so. Why? He said even the new leader is open for dialogue. So what they're doing now is to create a new Boko Haram. Oh, you don't know this. You don't know. Listen, they learned these things from Europeans. That's the way they operate. They will make you believe that they will create the exact replica of that very thing. To catch that thing, they create the replica of it. They thought that by creating all these mushroom radio stations answering to Biafra, they can weaken Radio Biafra. I'm sure how many of you have, sometimes you watch a film or you read a particular story, but you don't take it you don't know what it means. Have you read the book called Born Identity, B-O-U-R-N? It was a series. What's this name of this Hollywood actor again that did, Born Identity, Born, what? The Born series. It was competing with James Bond, of course, but it's not. Jason Bond is the name. What's his name again? It's not Ben Affleck. What's his chap's name? Once again, I've forgotten his name. Is it Matt Damon? I remember now. Matt Damon was the lead character in the Born series, B-O-U-R-N-E. I read the book myself. I've forgotten who is the author again. I've forgotten the author of the book. I read the book before I actually watched the movie. I read it when I was about to go into SBS, Iguacha, after I left secondary school. That's when I read it. I can never forget. Born Identity. They were trying to catch a very notorious Islamic assassin. Basically, Carlos the Jackal, if you know Carlos the Venezuelan. I think he's in a prison now somewhere in France. He was the one that led the terrorists to storm OPEC. Was it OPEC meeting in 1974? I can't remember anymore. His name is Carlos the Jackal. So the Western intelligence, I'm sorry to digress, but please allow me. I'm heading somewhere. The Western intelligence agencies wanted to catch Carlos the Jackal. So what they did was to create the Born Identity, to create the exact replica, both in terms of assassinations and everything, of Carlos the Jackal, in the hope that Carlos the Jackal will now say, who is this man replicating me? And then once he comes out, to take him down. Go and read the book, the original book. Forget the film. The film is a bit tongue. Go and read Born Identity. B-O-U-R-N-E. Born Identity is the very big. I'm advertising books, don't I? Because I love to read, you see. That's what they do. They create your replica. And then over time, they begin to confuse people. So that anybody coming in, okay, but they're also a radio station, or they're also answering Biafra. So why don't we go there then? Do you know that Awasa is doing that same thing in real? Should I say they're doing it again? They have tried to defeat Boko Haram. They cannot. Bear with me this evening, please. Now what they have done is to go and create another Shekau. And then to say to the world, this new Shekau we are creating now is ready to negotiate. So that when other Boko Haram members hear it, the ones in the field, the lone wolves in the field, they'll say, okay, we are now about to negotiate. Let me put my tools down. Very simple, isn't it? That was when they were creating their fake radio stations. BVI, MFSI, Biafra 92, Biafra 24, Biafra radio, just to I don't know, I don't think you are. They will create your replica. So when you're looking at you say, okay, but it's me, I'm not too sure anymore. That's what they do. That was why they created fake radio Biafras everywhere, answering Biafra, but they are fake. The same thing they have done today with Boko Haram. If Boko Haram is going to change the leadership, it's not for Boko Haram to announce it, to say, now, this is our new leader. No, but their new leader is being announced by the Chadian president for Boko Haram. And he said, they are open for dialogue. Didn't I tell you, Ndoshi? Anything I tell you is true. You may not believe it when I say it, but eventually I am very, very confident that Chukwu Abiyama's blessing is with us so much that anything we open our mouth to offer comes to pass. I'm telling you, anything we say, open our mouth and say, that thing must happen. Is it not happening now? That was how they created all those fake people. It was Nnamdi, Kanu, IPOB, every blessed day. They have no other job. They don't do anything else. These are the people sponsored by APC Boko Haram. The same thing they have now done today is here clear in black and white. Boko Haram now have a new leader, and that leader is open for dialogue. Who said this? Not Boko Haram, but Idris Deby, the Chad president. I told them, I'm going to go to the library. I cannot go to the library. They don't know who we are. They have no idea. These people are so foolish, they have no clue as to what we are capable of. Only in a short while. One thing to here, more in a group. We will shock them. We will shock them. Then they will know that this media war, they have truly lost it. They have lost it completely and totally. We are live and direct, and this is Radio Biafra, live and direct to the whole world. Mankind is listening to us. Why? Because we speak the truth. Reps to probe 5 billion police recruitment fund. Anybody would have thought that the job of the police is to catch criminals. But you don't know that in the zoo, only in the zoo, the police are actually the thieves. How do you? If they're not thieves, how come 5 billion of their money is missing? No, he's laughing, isn't it? If there is any criminal activity somewhere in any civilized part of the world, you will expect the police to go there to fix it. But when it comes to the zoo, it is not the police that goes to investigate. They send EFCC or RCC or FRSC, not police. How many times have you read in the paper that the police are now investigating? The answer is zero. Once it has to do with money, police they don't allow the zoo police to come close. Because the police people are thieves. Where they'll be investigating, they're stealing their own and filling their own pockets. People don't know how backwards and criminally corrupt the zoo called Nigeria is. Police money is missing, stolen by police. How much? 5 billion naira. Imagine how many school fees that can pay. Imagine how many salaries and for how many months that can pay. Some states are going to borrow 9.7 billion to pay salaries for 4 months. One single person with his friends stole 5 billion in one go. Oh dear. This zoo at its finest. That is a place prepared for stealing. This worship. It is a place, well, I don't know how the British conceived this, I must give some credit to Lugard, I don't know how he managed to do it. I don't know how Lugard managed to create a perfect country for criminals. The only place that is the criminality has been perfected beyond understanding of man. The zoological republic, the zoo itself. My goodness me. My goodness me. This is Radio Biafra, live and direct. Somebody is saying that Buhari, we don't need Igbos. And somebody is writing and saying Igbos don't mind. After all, I mean Igbo-speaking people of Biafra. Igbo is the dominant language in Biafra land, not Biafra itself. After all, the word Biafra came from an Izon man, not an Igbo man. So, I pray, I want all these people that do this and hit, they come, they say something, they just run away. I want to sit them down. Oh, Biafra is Igbo. I want to ask the idiot writing in Lagos, who brought the name Biafra? Was it an Igbo man? The answer is no. It was a man from Ijo man. Oh dear. Oh dear me. We need to do something about this issue because Igbos have been marginalized because of We don't want anything to do with the zoo. The word of Biafra is not an Igbo word. The reminder of who we are came from an Ijaw man, and a Ijaw man reminded the world as to who we are and what our name is. Don't you understand it? Don't you get it? I don't think you do. They said Buhari don't need them. They too don't need Buhari. I mean Igbo people. Because me, I speak Igbo language and I am a Biafran. I come from a place called Afara. You put B-I in front of it, come and join. Very, very simple, isn't it? Come and join. Exposing another pedophile, terrorist Buhari administration falsehood. They wanted to write below is an official press statement explaining how the loan Buhari claimed was diverted was to be expended. They live on loan. They produce nothing. They don't make. People say, oh, Innocent is a car manufacturer. No, he's not. He's a car assembly plant. He doesn't. I know some of you will be crying now, won't you? But here we speak the truth, you see. It can be painful. We will preach it. The heart open Jinimoto Innocent is not fabricated in Africa. They import components from China. He assembles them together. That's what he does. I give him credit for that. It's like a kit car, kit car means K-I-T, kit, kit car. They send you the cars in small boxes, they're Lego, you put it together. And if it's working, then you're a car manufacturer. And rightfully so. I don't want to take away any of the glory from him. He's doing very, very well. Very, very well. They tell you one thing and they do another. They are going for loans. The reason why I mention Innocent is because with a little bit of loan, like this money, 1.1 billion, if you give Innocent now 1.1 billion, he will be able to manufacture everything that his car needs to be operational or to be functional on the road. He will employ people to mold the tire using rubber. He will get people also employ them to bend the steel to the shape of the door of the car or the bonnet. He will make sure that they fabricate the glass for the windshield at the front and also the rear one, including side mirrors, including every other plastic. Do you know that the indicator, trafficator in your car is made of plastic? Do you know that any plastic company can make it? But, black people from Africa. But people travel to China to import that plastic. Your backlight. They don't hit my car. Your backlight is shattered. That thing, when you pick it up, is ordinary plastic. Which means common sense says that any plastic company can make it. But no, you need to travel to China to go and get it. And the economy is booming, and they are busy collecting loans, which they can only divert back to their private accounts abroad. Very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. We continue. I told them they are dead. The zoo is finished. The zoo is finished. I want them. Radio Biafra is the downfall of the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. Now, as soon as Radio Biafra came up, I knew that Nigeria was this gone. It's finished. It's gone. 4 people are dead as helicopter crashes into Lagos Lagoon. When I heard this news, I thought they were carrying Igbo chiefs, going to see the Oba Akiolu. And then Oba directed them to land inside the lagoon, and they died there. But that wasn't the case. Another reason why I'm bringing this news to the fore is that the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, ran to the place. They call the Southwest Wing. They ran to the place. When there is when there is a helicopter crash, people may be injured. I would expect to see maybe ambulance rushing to the place, or maybe the police to cordon off the area to do some proper investigation, and air investigation, whatever, air crash investigators to go there to find out exactly what happened, recover the cockpit voice recorder in order to obviously ascertain what went wrong. Instead of the police to issue a statement, or the ambulance, or maybe the hospitals where they are, is there to talk about it. The National Emergency Management Agency. Oh my goodness me. What happened was an accident, not a national emergency. Do you people actually know English language? Or you just, anything you see, you just name yourselves and you speak? Your name says National Emergency Management Agency, National Emergency. Helicopter crashing is very sad, that is true, because there are lots of lives, yes, regrettable and very sad, yes. But with due respect, it's not a national emergency. So what is NEMA doing there? To supply bags of rice and gari? Do you know why they have things like NEMA in the zoo? Is to show you how backwards they are. Black people in the zoo, monkeys and baboons everywhere. Monkeys and baboons everywhere. I told them, we shred them already. Buhari's appointments, PDP is mocking us, according to APC, because I told you tonight my news hound found only news that goes to corroborate what we preach on Radio Biafra. After we lambasted Buhari yesterday, or should I say 2 days ago, now they are saying, Buhari, please appoint a cabinet. People are watching, the world is listening, and you are making a mockery of us. Why? Because of Radio Biafra. Who else now? Did anybody complain about it? Or did anybody explain to the world the meaning of democracy the way we just did? Did anybody tell you about Montesquieu's separation of powers? Did anybody actually tell you that the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive is incomplete if you don't have ministers? You cannot have a dictatorship and then have a democracy. You are making a mockery of your own stupidity as a black person from Africa. Buhari's lack of appointments is making everybody a laughing stock, according to APC Boko Haram party stalwart. I told some people before that Fashola was corrupt. Oh, he's doing well. He can't see the road he built near Olibombo. As you're going inside, he planted 4 trees, the flower. The man is as corrupt as Tinubu is. Fashola, the Yoruba man, the former Lagos State governor, is a criminal. This man stole on the last day in office 142 billion. He took as loan, hoping to run for presidency at some date in the future. Yoruba, these are staunch robbers, serious armed robbers, but this time with political office and political power. Anti-corruption activists are now to drag Fashola to EFCC. He launched a website, 78 million naira website scandal. 78 million. How much did myself Biafra website? This one started his own with 78 million for image laundering. Because that is how they steal in the zoo, just like Atiku Abubakar. After Atiku Abubakar finished off Nigerian customs and stole some money as the vice president of the zoo, he launched a newspaper called Daily Independent. After Tinubu must have stolen Lagos State money and stolen money from everywhere else, as the highest ranking civilian corrupt politician of all time, he launched a paper called The Nation newspaper to protect themselves and their image. He launched a TV station. That's what they do. Corrupt individuals launching newspapers and websites to cover up their misdeeds and their evil acts. But unfortunately for them, we have Radio Biafra, and they cannot survive it, can they? No, never. We can't let them go. And we are continuing with our news headlines this evening. There's another man, he has spoken. Confusion trails ATM withdrawal limits. Are you sure that the CBN governor went to school? Because I am seriously having, when it will break one day, you'll be shocked. I believe that the current CBN governor must have forged his certificate because that man has no brain in his skull. That man is not behaving like a Federal Reserve banker. He is not reasoning like an economist. He obviously does not, in his conduct, portray any knowledge of central banking of any sort. Every day he's in disarray. How can you be putting even the ATM withdrawal limit of 150? I thought was designed to stop kidnappers from marching people to the ATM and asking them to empty their accounts. Now they said they want to reduce it to 60,000 in a day. When a return flight to Abuja from Iguacha is more than 60,000. So you mean if I want to fly from Iguacha to the heart of the zoo, then I take out 60,000, then that's it. I pay and then I will starve. This is how foolish they are. And he's a central bank. That man should be removed. He's so useless. I don't care where he comes from. You know, here we don't feel sorry for people who are so idiotic. I don't care where you come from. Central bank governor is a complete non-entity. Idiot. His animal, of course, is for the zoo. Everything he likes he can do, but it's just that he's affecting Biafrans as well, adversely, and he's into world. Final burial rites of the Oni of Ife, Obasijuade, reportedly stalled as Abobaku flees. It doesn't surprise me. Yoruba running away from something, it doesn't come as a surprise. They are cowards anyway. Cowardly people. When you hit them, when you try reminding a Yoruba person, how about Ilorin? How about Kwara State? Did you enjoy how, I was sad and he took it from you? And now instead of an Oba of Ilorin, you have an Emir of Ilorin. They will run away from the debate. They will say, you come and get your Biafra now, let us see. We are going to starve you again. But that wasn't the point. The point was, and I repeat, are you enjoying how Awusa Fulani took Kwara from you and converted you to Islam? When I debate Europe, I floor them. I bury them completely. Some of you feel sorry for them, maybe because you were born in Lagos, born near a dustbin. There is a picture circulating of the Zian in Madweke in a hospital, critically ill in London. But you want us, when I sent people to see your husband, he said he's a Nigerian, that you are doing very well. I told the people that I sent to go and see Alice in Madweke that the wife will come back from Nigeria in disgrace. And they said that to him, very politely, of course. Today, the wife is lying down in a London hospital in disgrace. So is it not the same Nigeria you claim you love? Why is the Zian not in a hospital in Abuja or in Iguacha? Why London? It is that type of hypocrisy I cannot stand. All of you are claiming, I'm a minister, we love Nigeria, this is our nation, Nigeria. Why do all of you have to go outside for your medical treatment? You love Nigeria, but not the hospitals? Oh, dear me. Look at her releasing her pictures on a sick bed in London in order to avoid public ridicule. But I told your husband, I told him, Biafra is the only solution. All of you, you will come back with shame. Look at Jonathan today. Jonathan is the object of ridicule all over the world. Even ordinary white, they tell me that that man is beyond useless. Jonathan, beyond useless. Only the idiots he gave pipeline contracts to can speak good of him. And then we come to that man, that Yoruba man called Wole Soyinka, that speaks from both sides of the mouth. They call him Nobel laureate. I told you that Radio Biafra is causing havoc in the zoo. We are causing commotion, big one. And the greater one is even coming. The roadblock, what they are witnessing now is go slow. The roadblock is coming. Also, very shortly. We'll tell them how formidable we are. I'm telling you. Pirates confraternity isn't a cult. Remember on Radio Biafra, we accused Wole Soyinka of forming the sea dogs. He called them the pirates. He said it is not a confraternity. No, it is a confraternity, but not a cult. And he did not write it the proper words, pirates with P-I. I want to point out how they deceive all of you in the zoo. Some of you sometimes I don't even know why you bother going to church on a Sunday. Like Sunday, come to Radio Biafra, will educate you and point you to Chukwu Abiyama, your creator, your maker, with no image in front of you. I'm sure now that pastors are jumping up and down saying, oh, don't say that please, because actually, isn't it? You know what you're preaching is a bunch of just lies and deceit. But you have to anyway. Because you have to feed. And you love to have a flock, a congregation. Every Sunday you deceive them. The same thing they are doing with the Zoo newspapers. Instead of writing the proper pirates, P-I-R-A-T-E-S, pirates, they wrote P-Y-R-A-T-E-S. That's Yoruba news management for you. They call it Pirates Confraternity, isn't a cult, says Shoyinka. Pirates Confraternity. At UNN in those days, they wear black and white. And Abali Benina or teacher. Oh, dear me, Shoyinka forgot one thing, that something may work in America doesn't mean it will work in Africa. Because in Africa, they are black. They turn everything upside down. In America, they use the power of incumbency to build bridges, to build roads, to formulate and articulate good policies towards education, towards industry, towards commerce, towards people's lifestyle and well-being. In Africa, an African politician sees his office as an opportunity to steal, to loot, and to pillage. The fact Americans are doing something and it's working, you copy it and you bring it to Africa, you are inviting trouble. In Africa, we are backwards mentally and intellectually. We will not understand it. That is why pirates is a cult. Who brought it in? Well, Shoyinka. But when I told you that Shoyinka brought in pirates, you didn't believe me, did you? You think I will sit here and lie? The seat I am sitting upon, Chukwu Abiyama made it possible, not man. So I cannot lie. What? My goodness. If I tell you the truth, what will you do? You cannot do anything to me now. So I have to tell you the truth. When I told you that Wole Soyinka brought in pirates, these are the idiots responsible for the killings in the universities, because after pirates came buccaneers. Because black people, they went and read and studied the history of the piracy in the Caribbean in those days. They found out that you had pirates and you also had buccaneers as well. So the idiots, they formed buccaneers wearing yellow. Their own color is a yellow sash. The other one is black and white, this one is yellow. And now we're in a university. Oh dear me. Hey, idiocy of the highest order. This man brought cultism to universities. So Wole Soyinka, Yoruba man, so-called Nobel laureate, he lacks vision and definitely not an intellectual. If he challenges me, I can allow him to debate. After that, I'll come in. I will go first and he can come second. Doesn't know anything. They use what is called Yoruba media image laundering. That was how Yoruba sold all their fake Islamic pastors to you. Every well-known Yoruba Pentecostal pastor is a Muslim. Have you ever asked yourself, how come they deceived all of you? Because of the preponderance of their media. They will go and bring out a fraudster from Islam. They wash him clean. Most of them are from Ilorin, Kwara State, the home of Yoruba Islam. Today they are controlling all of you. Yoruba Church. Oh dear me. Wole Soyinka is a fraud and a liar. This evening, just very lightly. That concludes our news headlines. Allow me to bring you our news in greater detail. We have not lost much time due to intermittency, so we are sticking to time. Don't worry about that. I will take your calls this evening as always, and I do not envisage any other intermittency from now till the time that we close. The news in greater detail. A septuagenarian, which means a very old man, possibly in his 80s, because they don't want to mention his name or his age. They said a septuagenarian. Now, if your school were on strike throughout the 4 years, you claim you are an undergraduate, now you've graduated and you're at NYSC camp, let us be honest with ourselves. How many people in the zoo called Nigeria, even graduates, know the meaning of septuagenarian? How many of you? It's a very old man, possibly in his 70s, if I'm not mistaken. What did he do and who is this man? This man is Yoruba Muslim. Every old man who is a rapist is a Muslim. Most of them are. Let me read it for you. A very old Yoruba man named Adebowale Dawuda. This is from the Punch newspaper, a Yoruba paper, please. It's not something we wrote down. We blog news because if we write it, you won't believe us. So we just others publish and we give them credit for it. We don't hide it. We explain the news to you in a manner you can understand. Because if you have a newspaper now, say, septuagenarian in court for alleged defiling of 11-year-old girl, believe you me, you will know what it means. But if I tell you a very old Yoruba man raped a girl of 11 years, then you understand what I mean. That's why you need Radio Biafra. That is why all of you must support Radio. The work we are doing is invaluable. If we begin to charge money for it, all of you cannot be able to afford it. But it comes to you for free, courtesy of IPOB, of course, in the diaspora. Those of you that will have their names, because as you contribute towards Radio Biafra every blessed month, through your monthly dues, and you're supporting for the purchase of armaments and weapons through the normal channel, which I'm not allowed to speak, then we have all your names. When Biafra comes, all of you who are now lying, some people say, oh, call me Colonel, I'm Lieutenant Colonel, I'm Major. Which sister did you fight in? Oh, I was at Abakana. I came to Olo. From Olo, I was moved to Idato. From Idato, I moved to Kigwe. Okwasi. They never saw battle. They never saw war. What are we going to do in our case? Because you may have your doubt, that is your business, but Biafra is coming. All of you who contributed in one way or the other to the restoration of Biafra financially, I mean, we are going to compile all your names the same way that your various coordinators sent in your name, the original copies, we have them. We are going to put them in glass archives, so that when some of you who are listening from under the bed right now, when you begin to lie to your grandchildren or to your children, oh, we contributed now to Biafra, your child can now go to the nearest library and go and look at those who funded Biafra. And after going through it, they will see your name is not there. And then you will try to go and bribe the attendant in the library to insert your name. We will hang both you and the idiot you're trying to bribe. So some of you now can be pretending, oh, we are for Biafra, We have your names. A book will be written with the names of everybody who supported this very struggle financially, this very effort we're making financially. So you can't lie to your children, you see. Very clear. Very, very clear. This is a septuagenarian, a Yoruba man, Adebowale Dawuda, raped an 11-year-old girl. This girl is 2 years older than Aisha when Buhari raped Aisha, your so-called first lady, a victim of child abuse and rape. Adebowale Dawuda, who allegedly defiled or raped an 11-year-old girl, was on Wednesday arraigned before an Ikeja magistrate court. They accused the 78, I told you, septuagenarian in 70s. He might never have won. My goodness me. The address is unknown because he's a Muslim. They sleep on the street, maybe in the mosque. He is facing charges of defilement, sexual assault, and breach of the peace. Why wasn't this same charge brought against Buhari when Buhari raped Aisha at the age of 9? I'm asking you. He was 45 then. Why wasn't this type of charge brought against Buhari then? They're in trouble, and a very big one. I'm telling you. The prosecutor is Sergeant Jima Isegede. He told the court that the offenses were committed on August 4th at 29 Anipupo Street, Pen Cinema, Agege. That's Agege. Even as the name sounds, very dirty place. They call it a suburb of Lagos. If Agege is a suburb, then I don't know what a suburb looks like. One of the dirtiest places in the whole world. Agege. Can't you see how the name sounds? Very crude, crass, and very Yoruba indeed. According to Isegede, the policeman prosecuting, the accused called the victim to a lotto shop at the above address under the pretense of sending her on an errand. Remember the Islamic cleric that raped a little girl at Yanakwaja? Have you forgotten? They always use something. Come, I want to send you. Come, let me send you a message for your mama. Imagine those that are not being reported every blessed day. The abuse happening in the zoo, little children. No wonder when they grow up, they turn into prostitutes. Soulless prostitutes everywhere. Nigerian girls. Soulless prostitutes there. The shop owner does not stay there, so it is only the accused that goes there every day. And because of this, it was easy for him to carry out the act. The accused had assaulted the child 8 times and told her that she would die if she tells anyone. 11-year-old girl assaulted 8 times. Yoruba old man without honor. Yoruba Muslim. These are the people you want to be in the same country with. And that's why you say, oh, it is not just there. It is also happens in Biafra as well. If you go to, I say, how many of those cases, if it is as rampant as it is in Yoruba land, has seen the light of day? After all the police people are Hausa Fulani. They will quite gladly prosecute anybody. That tells you all you need to know. Yoruba, shameless old men, old fools, abusing little girls. This thing happened in Yanakwaja, in a mosque. They say it's a man raped a little girl, and the police did nothing about it. Let's continue. The pedophile and terrorist Buhari, the sole administrator and dictator of the zoo called Nigeria, the British created zoo in Africa. People create zoos everywhere around the world, even Serengeti. There are the wildebeest, you have crocodiles, you have zebra, you have giraffe, you have hippopotamus, you have elephant, you have hyena, kora, you have vultures, udele. All these things are there in the plains of the Serengeti. And then the British created another one. It's called Nigeria. It has Hausa Fulani in it. The pedophile terrorist Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday regretted that the zoo's economic growth has so far not translated into commensurate improved well-being of citizens, especially the youth. Buhari made the observation in his address at the 2015 International Youth Day with the theme Youth Civic Engagement, held inside the old banquet hall of the presidential villa in Abuja. He said that the issue was of serious concern to him because the situation was forcing youth to be migrating from rural to urban areas or from the zoo to other countries in search of better opportunities. The pedophile terrorist, however, promised that his administration will do everything within its capacity to better the lots of the youth. He said it is an issue of serious concern that in the zoo, so far, economic growth has not translated into commensurate and improved social outcomes, especially for our 60 million young people who make up the majority of the population. Economic growth. My question is, the Dulad of Daura, in which sector are you experiencing this growth? Because if I watch the news this night, I can see NASDAQ, I can see the Dow Jones Industrial Index, I can see the CAC Ron, which is the CAC 40 in France. I can see the DAX index you have in Frankfurt. I can see the FTSE 100 in London. I can see the movement of the stocks and the shares. I can tell you which sector is doing well. If it is in pharmaceuticals, if it is in the tobacco or wine sector, you can tell. It's in manufacturing. Because there you will see the manufacturers, the district directors, they will issue what is called the gate, what's it called, the gate receipts or whatever, the orders coming into the factories for manufactured goods. That way you can predict the trend of employment. I want to ask Buhari, which sector of the economy are you experiencing this growth? Is it in the sector of appointment of corrupt judges to go and preside over electoral tribunals? Is it in the sector of moving money abroad? Is it in the sector of I can't understand what they're talking about? What is the growth you're talking about? That hasn't been translated into. Why do you people love lying? The economy of the zoo is shrinking. You sell only one product to make money. That product, crude oil. Nobody is buying your crude oil. Angola has overtaken you. Ghana has overtaken you. Even in Yam, Ghana is at the head of you. In palm oil, Malaysia. So which sector of the economy is growing? I'm asking you. Oh, dear me. Maybe importation of spare parts. Who knows? I don't know. Do you see how they lie to you? These are the people you claim they are bringing change, but they are liars. Why should Buhari stand up and lie to little children, little youths? He's addressing. Why? That tells you all you need to know about them. That tells you everything you need to know about these vagabonds and evil people. Everything you need to know, I assure you. Evil men. Evil men. They are liars. Which part of the economy is growing? Which part of it? Please tell us. Oil sector? Are you not the ones complaining about the falling oil prices? Are you not a member of OPEC? You are overproducing your own quota. Is that not correct? To hold on to your market share. America no longer buys oil from you. Neither does Canada. Your greatest market now is India. Is that not correct? Oh, dear me. You can lie, but Radio Biafra is here to expose you. So all that Buhari, change. Buhari is an honest man. Buhari is a liar. Look at him lying to small children. They train them from very young to lie and to deceive people. But we are here to correct all that anomaly, all that nonsense. If you're an IPOB family member, if we catch you lying, you'll be dismissed. No second chance. We are obedient, law-abiding people, the children of heaven. We speak the truth. If we are protecting you, we know how to protect you. Never ever lie. It was say you are finished. We are not breeding young men and women to become liars of tomorrow. We want you to be leaders of tomorrow, not liars of tomorrow. A South African online media outfit, Mail and Guardian Africa, came after the zoo on Tuesday, saying that was yesterday, the money eaten in the zoo, or let me put them verbatim, the money eaten there is bigger than the gross domestic product of 38 African countries. That is when they say the money eaten, it means the money stolen by Buhari and their friends. Look at Babangida. He's a national leader and an elite icon. Look at Obasanjo, he's an elite, he's an icon. Look at Tinubu, he's a national leader, an important leader of APC. But the man is a thief. He was an airline. First Nation Airline belongs to Tinubu. Tinubu, before you became governor, did you have an airline? The answer is no. How come all of a sudden you have one? Oh, dear me. The zoo. Let me continue to tell you that South Africans, the whole world listens to Radio Biafra, and they are copying everything we are saying verbatim. That means after a short while now, we'll be asking the doolad of Daura. Maybe this Nigeria created is the bad idea after all. Why don't you stay on your own and be drinking Furadununu? If the stolen funds, according to the South African news media, if the stolen funds estimated at $50 billion were a country, the online medium reported it will be Africa's 11th biggest economy. He's saying $50 billion. You should have gone 400 billion is in England alone. 400 billion pounds, not dollars. 400 billion, very close to $1 trillion stolen by black men in Africa. Black African leaders. Only in the zoo. Imagine when you bring in Zaire, you bring in Liberia, you bring in Sierra Leone, you bring in Gabon, you bring it everywhere. Once you see a black man as a head of state, you are looking at the embodiment of kleptomania. They cannot stay without stealing. Some estimate put the lost funds at 50 billion. My goodness me. That means that the money stolen in the zoo in 6 months, because 50 billion is what they steal in 6 months, is greater than the economy of Ghana. Greater. But isn't it funny that today Ghana exports more yam than the farmers in the zoo? That is what stealing does to you, Woshi. That is what it does to your brain. That is exactly what it does to you. Some of you might understand it, but we do. We do. Completely and totally. South Africa is now poking fun at the zoo. They even mentioned the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation diverted over 30 billion oil revenue since 2009. This figure, instead, was bigger than the annual production output of half of all the countries in Africa. Those years, it's awesome. Stolen funds from the zoo. That is why they tell you one Nigeria. When you see Yoruba newspapers like The Punch or Nation write about one Nigeria or Vanguard, we in our Guardian, the epitome of establishment. When you want supporters of corruption, you talk about the Guardian newspaper. That's the entrenched supporters of corrupt practices. After all, the man who founded it, who floated it, I think is Hebrew, made his money from corruption. So what do you expect? Now you understand, don't you? The money stolen in 6 months is greater than all the half of the entire African continent, the countries in it. The output, stolen money. After stealing, then you'll be in hospital bed in London. And I don't know. I don't know. But at least our message is spreading far. The world is now beginning to understand the level of criminality and the incurable corruption in the zoo. And when you talk about all this nonsense, never ever forget that Buhari established NMPC. Don't forget Buhari was in PTF. Don't forget that this very man owns a house abroad. Don't forget Buhari imported $700 million in a suitcase carried by his ADC. Don't forget that this very man, the donor of Daura, controlled nothing less than 200 billion naira as the head of the Petroleum Trust Fund. Where is all that money? This man has been selling oil for the past 2.5 months. Where is the money? This man has been governing everywhere, running everything as a sole administrator and dictator with no accountability. People are scared to ask him questions. But the man is a thief. Complete and utter thief. Whiter than white and whiter than snow itself. Incorruptible. I said incorruptible before heaven and earth. We continue to disseminate this very gospel this evening. Don't worry, we shall open our lines. And I'm going to educate and to enlighten. Africa's leaders must address the problem that caused so many of their people to migrate to Europe. Where did you hear that first? On Radio Biafra. He's a cleric, he said. I told you everybody listens to us. Everybody does. According to Cardinal Peter Turkson, during a visit to his native Ghana, Cardinal Turkson, the president of the Pontifical Council for Justice and Peace, is a Roman Catholic, remarks that Africa's leaders have been all too silent at a time when thousands of their people are desperately seeking a better life abroad and dying in the process. Where did you hear that first? That African leaders are keeping quiet? On Radio Biafra, of course. Somebody, a cardinal in Rome, is even listening. We are formidable, I tell you. Very, very formidable. If you are not listening to Radio Biafra, you are ignorant. We must continue. Security operatives to monitor the bank account of judges who are in election tribunal, or electoral tribunal, however they wish to put it. As a way of identifying those who have been compromised by politicians, security agents won't give you their names. Just security agents. Just look at how flimsily they throw things about. Security agents will monitor which part of this, so we know who to hold responsible. They won't tell you. Ndushi. Security agents have been detailed to monitor the bank accounts of judges handling various election petitions. Now, if judges cannot be trusted, because judges are the last bastion, they are the last line of defense between state-sponsored tyranny and the preservation of the rights of ordinary people, those not in power. So if security agents are watching judges who should be interpreting the law when somebody is caught stealing, That means that all their rulings now on all the thievery going on is meaningless. When I told the world, or when I tell you that anything we say on Radio Biafra is true, some of you doubt me. Here's another proof. All the judges are corrupt to the extent that they are now sending people to be looking into their bank accounts. If you lack confidence in your judicial system, what hope do you have anymore? I tell you, the zoo is finished. Now you know what you never knew before, don't you? We speak the truth here. And the truth shall set everybody free. Defense headquarters condemned suicide attacks in Awasa Fulani land. The defense headquarters on Wednesday condemned the spate of suicide attacks in, they call it Northeast. They don't want to say the name, but the name is Kanu. Where scores of innocent lives were lost on regular basis. But I thought you said that you have now controlled Boko Haram. They no longer strike at will, that you are now in control. Why are you complaining? The reaction, of course, is contained in a statement issued in Abuja by the acting director of information, Colonel Rabi Abubakar. No longer Olukolade, they have chased him away. You know that Yoruba man, that talkative Yoruba man, Chris Olukolade, Army General. You studied mass communication, you're an Army General. This one is another Awasa man because Awasa has taken over everything. Colonel Rabi Abubakar, another Awasa man with a name that will find comfort in Saudi Arabia. We are in the same country. What is your name? My name is Tom Suchuku Odikemene. And who is your fellow countryman? Oh, my fellow countryman is Rabi Abubakar. We're in the same country. Does that sound right to you? If this man were to travel to Iraq, or maybe to Syria, I'd say my name is Rabi Abubakar. You will say, okay, it's okay. You're a Muslim, I understand. But you're in the same country with him. His name is Rabi Abubakar. Your name is Som Tojuku, and you're in the same country. Oh dear. This statement described those perpetrating these heinous crimes as callous, barbaric, and monsters. But Buhari called them his brothers. The army is now calling them callous, barbaric, and monsters. But these are the same Boko Haram that Buhari called my brothers during Salah message a few weeks ago. Oh, have you forgotten? Because if you have forgotten, no, we have not. We have not. This Radio Biafra, we tell them that they're in trouble, didn't we? And they are in one almighty mess. I tell you, we will destroy them. Don't worry about that. It's happening already. It is crumbling every day. Do you know the zoo is on fire because of Radio Biafra? The world can see the truth. Stay there and keep feeling sorry for yourself. I'm not a black person from Africa. When I say blacks are baboons and monkeys, I want to exclude me. Until we prove otherwise. Until Biafra comes. The day we get it is the day that Biafra comes. If you turn on your tap, water will come out. From mains, water works. If you switch on your light, there's electricity. Nobody's complaining of hunger or homelessness. People are meaningfully employed, not traveling to Europe to go and be washing toilet. That day, we can say we are human beings. But until then, baboons and monkeys everywhere. Boko Haram now have a new leader, according to the Chad president. The Chad president is Idris Deby. He confirmed that Boko Haram have a new leader. He did not say what had happened to Abubakar Shekau, but said he had been replaced by Muhammad Dawood, who has not been heard of before. Mr. Shekau has not featured in the group's recent videos, leading to speculation that he has been killed. Mr. Deby, whose troops have been involved in battling Boko Haram, said Mr. Dawood was open to dialogue. That's how they start. They are now creating a fake Boko Haram with a fake leader to do. They will give them money to kill people, to assume that authenticity. Then they now deal with them. That's what they do. What they try to do with all those mushroom radio stations, CVI, BVI, Radio Bedroom, Germany, Upper Niger, Lower Niger Radio Incorporated of Biafran Board of Control, rubbish. We told them that heaven sent us. And today they are lying in the gutter, flat. We must continue. They are creating another Boko Haram to replace the original Boko Haram. Provocateur. reps to probe 5 billion police recruitment. If the police fund is missing, then there is trouble, isn't it? That means if your money goes missing, you have no hope. If police cannot find their own money that is missing, how about you when you lose your money? The House of Representatives of the Zoo on Tuesday resolved to probe 5 billion naira police recruitment fund stolen. They appropriated the money for the 7th Assembly in 2014. To this end, the House mandated its committees on appropriation, legislative compliance, and police affairs, when constituted, to probe the matter and report back to the House for further legislative action. What they mean to say is, I cannot be here and people will steal 5 billion and we didn't get our own share. Go and tell us what happened, who stole what, and tell us what we're going to get in return. That is how they reason in the zoo. That is why they are all criminals and they are all hypocrites. Buhari don't need Igbo people. Some Igbos are saying they don't need him either. I like that. They don't need him. He's not worthy of our commentary, to be honest with you. Igbo. Let's continue. Exposing another Buhari administration falsehood. Below is an official press statement explaining how the loan Buhari claimed was to be expended. Was the money. Nigeria has a profile with an additional 1.1 billion money to do so. What are these projects? The Abuja Rail project, which will cost $500 million. The other one is Galaxy Backbone Infrastructure Project, which will cost $100 million. Where is the Galaxy Backbone? Maybe it's in the galaxy, in the sky, where the stars are in the galaxy, Milky Way. Maybe the money is in the Milky Way, Galaxy Infrastructure Project. What is it? If I continue to explain to you how criminally minded the baboons and the monkeys in the zoo are, you will not believe me. Everything, once you say, I am a Nigerian, from that particular instant, that very second, you're a thief. There is a type of evil spirit that goes, the demon of kleptomania, to steal, to just enter inside you. You turn into a full-blown rogue. Once you're a Nigerian, you're a rogue. A criminal extraordinaire, I tell you. And it shows. It shows. Stealing money. Abuja Light Railway. Where does the money come from? They are borrowing money against oil, crude oil from Biafra land. Is there any light railway in River State? Any light railway? They said Amechi is building one. It has stopped somewhere around my one. One of my friends said, you'll be on light railway with electricity, they will rock about. How many of you go to hotels or big buildings and you use the lift? They will tell you you're doing such a risk. Or 15th floor. And NEPA will take light. And then they'll say the gem, there is no diesel in it. People live like animals in the zoo, I tell you. 4 people are dead as a helicopter crashes into Lagos Lagoon. I thought there were Igbo people before. A helicopter belonging to Bristol has crashed into a lagoon in Owoloshoki area of Lagos, the dirtiest city in the whole world, the stinking, filthy city of Lagos, around 3:40 p.m. today, August 12, 2015. Very sad indeed. Very, very sad. Souls are lost. But if there are Hausa Fulani people in it and Yoruba, then good riddance to them. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA spokesman, is Ibrahim Farin Lawyer. NEMA, Emergency Management Spokesman, not Marine Police to go and fish them out of the lagoon, but a national emergency. It's an accident, it is not an emergency. Very sad souls we are lost, of course. If there are Biafrans or maybe white people or other foreigners, I do empathize with the families. If they are Hausa, Fulani, or Yoruba, then good riddance to them. I hate them. I have to tell you the truth. Some are good in Yoruba land, I'm not doubting that. Some of them are good. So should I say I hate some Yoruba then? Maybe that's a good best way. I can't stand them. They are thieves. and they are liars as well. They're like a parasite. You know, a leech. I'm telling you, they're going to kill you. The pedophile, the sole administrator, the dictator extraordinaire, and the terrorist, Muhammadu Buhari's failure to appoint people from the southeastern region is not going down well with everybody. As Paul Iyke, a chieftain of the APC, has stated his concern on the issue. Do you know who is Iyke? Iyke maybe is the son of Eze Iyke that was singing. He was saying, I don't know. Buhari, the man that called Buhari Kechuku. I don't know if this is the son, Paul Iyke. He's an APC. These are the charlatans, the scavenging Igbo idiots. That is, they without shame. When Buhari was going to Aba to Iyke's palace to be made Ikechuku of Aba, it never occurred to them that this will happen. But we came on air to warn them, you will be disappointed. Today they are saying Buhari doesn't want to appoint people from who are you? Do you think he needs you? Of course he doesn't need you. You're a complete idiot. His name is Paul Iyke. He's living in Wuse Zone 2 in Abuja. Wuse, Maitama, Wuse Zone 8. Mad people. But nobody's in your village. You know, Dara. Lunatics everywhere. Anti-corruption activists drag Fashola, the corrupt Lagos State governor, former one, of course, to EFCC. He's a Yoruba man, he's a Muslim, that makes me rude. Muslims or followers of Islam make the finest looters of treasury. Go and look at all the people that have stolen so much money. They are always Muslims. All of them. They are Muslim, I should say. There's no plural, is there? It's Muslim, not Muslims. The Civil Society Network Against Corruption, a coalition of anti-corruption organizations in the zoo called Nigeria, has petitioned the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over the questionable expenditures of the administration of Babatunde Fashola, the immediate past governor of Lagos State. In a petition dated August 10 and addressed to the EFCC chairman, the group called for the probe of the controversial 78 million naira spent on the personal website of Fashola to launder his image, so that Igbo idiots born in Lagos near Idioroko will say, oh, he's a good man, he's the president. That was how they got you, by image laundering. He spent 78 million to project his own personal profile. They are calling EFCC to probe him. They should ask for EFCC to probe the loans he took before he left office. He took loans totaling 142 billion naira. Billion, not million. 142 billion. Confusion is now trailing ATM withdrawals as Godwin Emefiele. That man is not worthy to be a megad in a local bank, talk less of a branch, talk less of the a high street bank and then CBN. He is lost. No wonder he was looking like Haros Apirabi when Buhari walked in, before Buhari sent him packing back to the zoo in America. Confusion has continued to trail the daily withdrawal limit by the customers in the automated teller machines. You know, when you go abroad, you see ATM, you are happy. You want to go to cash point to take money. You know, baboons now, monkeys in Africa, they copy their own, but there's no network. Sometimes you put your card and you swallow it. And no money. Sometimes it will tell it as dispense, giving you 60,000 naira, whereas you only took 10. And then when you go to get the money back, they will ask you to fill a form and come back in the next 2 years with your grandmother beside you. The ATMs are not working. When they are working, they said withdrawal limit is 60,000, it is 150,000, and I'm asking you, how much is a return ticket from Iguacha to Abuja? So if I withdraw 60,000 and pay for my ticket, how am I supposed to feed? Lunatics everywhere. This is banking in Africa. Baboons and monkeys doing financial transactions. Very sadly. Give them banana and granite. It happened. The final burial rites for the late Oni of Ife, the Yoruba man, Oba Siju Ade, I think the last wife only graduated from university. I think it's about 2 years ago, is it? The last wife is less than 25 years of age, but is dead. Idiot is dead. Or Basiju are dead. They said the burial rites has been stored as the Ababaku is currently on the run. In Yoruba tradition, the Abobaku is someone who is chosen to be buried with the king. As according to customs, an Oba is never buried alone. Are you listening? Britain, are you listening? Oh, dear me. These are the people we are in the same zoo with. You are in the same country with people don't know. I feel sorry for people, Oh, let's celebrate our diversity. And I'm asking you about people. Your diversity is that when a useless, decrepit, diseased man is dead, you have to bury somebody with him. And you claim you're Christians. You claim you are Tunde Bakari. You are TB Joshua. And I'm asking all of you going to Yoruba churches, why don't you ask your general overseer, have you condemned this Yoruba practice, this Yoruba devilish act of burying somebody with your Oni of Ife? Do you understand now? When I told you that all of you going to Yoruba churches, you are heading straight to hell. You people, I can't stand you people. All of you idiots going to Yoruba churches, you are your general overseer will tell you, oh, they believe in a culture that when